with 19.5, and the Knicks would come back that night and have like 8,000. So it was kind of the reverse of it is now. But just a great time. And those coaches, you mentioned John Thompson, of course, Coach Conasecca, Jim Boeheim, up and down the line, Rolly Massimino, all unique personalities, just great coaches and kind of larger-than-life figures in college basketball.
John, with Chris Mullin. Chris, before I let you go, so when I heard the news, he's, Coach was 99, and I felt like I was getting emotional, and then I said, is it really fair to get emotional if somebody had such a wonderful life? Did you get emotional when you found out? How are we supposed to, digest this now? Because people do pass away, and you never want to lose them. But what a great run of 99 years. What did you feel when you first heard?
Yeah, Mike, I was actually at the studio. I could, do pre and post game for the Warriors game, so I got all these texts. I was actually on air, and I kind of initially, like you said, I was sad because I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss laughing. Miss spending time with him. But I think pretty soon after that, it was emotions of celebration. Gracious that I got to spend all that time with him. And blessed that he impacted my life and so many others. So, like you said, at 99, I think from a selfish standpoint, we want him to live to 300, right. Because Mike Breen and Clyde covered it last night. You just thought he would live forever. But I do think when, sadness passes quicker, and I think the celebration of his life, an amazing life lived, impacted people, so many people globally. Because Michael, and you guys probably know, he was going over Italy and Spain in the 70s doing clinics. So those people adore him. This is before a lot of coaches were even doing that. We used to have coaches come over and spend the holidays with us. They'd come over for a month from Spain and Italy and just travel with us just to learn from Coach. Willis Reed worked as a volunteer assistant under Coach Conasecca just to learn the coaching, and then before he went to Creighton. So just an amazing impact, and we're all just blessed that we were impacted by his life. And it's going to be a huge void, of course. But I agree with you, Michael. The sadness is there, but it's overwhelmingly more a feeling of celebration for an amazing life lived and all the people he impacted.
Well, I know this wasn't easy, Chris. I thank you, my friend, for coming on. He was so important to so many of us, and my condolences to you. I know how much he meant to you, and thank you for coming on, and I hope you enjoy the holiday season.
Michael, Don, and Peter, thank you so much, and Coach, rest in peace.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Wow, you could hear what he meant to him.
Yeah.
How he choked up in the middle of that as well. But Chris was like, that was Lou's pride and joy. Chris could have gone anywhere. Chris was highly recruited. He was one of the top high school players in the country, and he decided to stay home.
And then it paid off and led to the most glorious moment of Lou's career.
Absolutely. We are going to talk to the commissioner of hockey. Gary Bettman is going to join us right here in the store.
Yeah, the next segment.
Yeah, at 4:15. So we still have a lot to do. We'll take some phone calls. 1-800-919-3776. Kayla Greco-Rosenberg and you right here on Yes and on 880 ESPN.
Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. Switch to fast setup and even faster checkouts. Switch to making every sale the way you want and the way they want, too. Switch to one system connecting every tool to every task, even as your business grows. Gain time and peace of mind with tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
Slow and steady wins the race. You hear it so often you forget just how amazing slow can be. At Acorns, we help your money harness the power of slow. Invest what you can. Give it a chance to grow with time. We believe that slower is better for your money and other stuff too. Barbecue, instant replay, slow dancing. Ooh, so slow. Acorns, grow your oak.
It's the Monday you've been waiting for. DSW's Cyber Monday sale is happening now at DSW.com. Today only, save 35% on almost everything online. Score the best deals of the year on must-have shoes, giftable bags, and cozy extras for everyone on your list, including you. Don't miss out. Save 35% online only at DSW.com today. Exclusions apply. Details at DSW.com.
Yost just dropped 2 new lotions. Y'all want to know what they smell like, so let's get into it.
Right off bat, strawberry drink getting a 10 out of 10 out of 10 out of 10 from me. You're gonna smell very edible, real delectable. It's so light and fluffy. It's like the perfect strawberry scent. I love it so much.
Champagne is a very sweet, fruity scent.
What? The notes in here are pear champagne, ruby, pomegranate, and plum suede. I love these so bad. Like, this is perfect. I love being a girl.
Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. Start with our point of sale. More than a system, it's the brain of your business. Train your staff in minutes and connect your POS to a KDS to handle orders ASAP. And with Square Banking, get a loan quickly for everything from small repairs to the biggest dreams. Gain time and peace of mind with restaurant tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
Hydration is essential, and Advocare Rehydrate makes it delicious. With 8 refreshing flavors like berry lemon ice and pomegranate tangerine, there's a bold flavor for your everyday. Salty electrolyte drinks are out, and Rehydrate is in. With a 1-to-1 sodium to potassium ratio, that means it's a hydration drink mix you'll actually enjoy drinking. Use code THIRSTY to get a free sample pack with your first order of Rehydrate, and try all the best flavors to find your favorite.
Visit linkedbylovetv.org to learn more about kidney disease, transplantation, and prevention. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
Obviously emotional, Chris Mullen. One more quick story. The day that St. John's got the #1 ranking in college basketball, and back then it was big. I mean, you're a college basketball fan. If I asked you who's #1 in the country right now, you would know.
Honestly, no.
Right, and that back then it was like who's #1? And I remember I had the front page story in the New York Post, and I said paint the town red, as in red men, as in the #1 ranked team in the nation, and he put it on the front page. That's how big it was. It was a big #1, and so my editor said go to their practice. And I went to Alumni Hall, which is now Carnesecca Hall, and
my guess would have been right, but I was completely guessing.
Who was it?
Kansas.
Okay.
But that's literally just guessing,
Right.
because why not Kansas?
Right. And they weren't there. So I said to my editor, well, they weren't there. He goes, well, find them. And I went all around Brooklyn and Queens. I finally found them at this high school gym. And Lou came out and said, how'd you find us? And I said, I didn't know how to. A couple of people had tipped me off, but then he stood out there in the cold and just did the interviews. He was
what a magic! It's St. John's greatness and Lou Carnesecca you could associate with so many other things. A feeling of New York in the 1980s.
Yeah,
it's truly yesteryear in so many ways.
It's also not like that anymore. You know, with Boeheim gone in Syracuse, there was, and Coach K and Duke, these guys stayed forever.
And Jim Calhoun.
So they became the face of that school, and now it's so transient, and it's just different world now. But back then, it was everything.
All right, so we have 12 minutes before the Commissioner of Hockey comes on.
You want to get to the story
I
of the day.
really want to hear the Thanksgiving story, because you wouldn't tell. You had some really euphemistic, filthy comment when I said, well, what happened? You said, well, I'm not going to tell you, but I'm not going to say exactly how you said it.
I learned it from you.
So now...
all right, so for people if you didn't listen last week, a lot of conversation. Michael was very upset that I was going to go take my wife and parents to Fogo de Chão. The great Brazilian steakhouse, or at least that's what people say. And
I don't like where this is going, Don.
And I argued back all week. What are you so worried about? What's wrong with taking your family out to dinner on Thanksgiving? And Michael, in his brilliant radio ways, made it the theme of the week. I didn't think it would happen, but it did. It lasted all week long. And so Thursday came. Now, what would you say if I were to tell you that not only did I go to Fogo de Chão, but they listened to the show, treated me like gold, and there were celebrities galore coming up to the table and whining and dining with my family.
Celebrities galore.
What would you say if I said that?
I'd say you're a liar.
And you would be right. Because I didn't have dinner at Fogo de Chão.
Why?
When I walked in, that's right, Anthony. When I walked in at 6:30 for the dinner, I noticed it was very crowded and bustling, and I walked up to the host stand. I go, Peter Rosenberg, I have a reservation for 6:30, and I see them thinking entirely too much. I'm like,
so you're starting to get nervous
immediately,
right?
And then they go, okay, well, right now, I still haven't sat people whose reservation was at 5:50, and it's 6:30. So they're telling me off top they're 40 minutes behind schedule.
Not good.
So they don't know how to make a reservation.
So
like
apparently
Seinfeld
they should know how to take it.
So so they go, if you guys can just wait over here to the left, and when I look to my left, it could be described. It was like I was looking at the infield during the Preakness. I mean, people everywhere, like a mob scene. I look over there and I look back and I'm like, guys, at this point, I kind of like my parents were kind of off to the side. I didn't want to like embarrass my parents, and I'm very polite. I don't act like a maniac,
right?
But I'm like, guys, I'm with my 77-year-old parents and my wife who is 8 months pregnant. It is Thanksgiving. I've had a reservation for 5 weeks. What's going on? We're backed up. Blah, blah. What I ended up figuring out was from some detective work, they were just greedy. They were just seating people. They thought they could seat people and I guess still get to their reservations. And they didn't. And so they had a literal mob scene of hungry people waiting to get a table on Thanksgiving.
Ravenous,
I'd say.
Yeah.
And on top of that, there's nowhere to sit. I found one place for my wife to be able to sit down. My wife and my mother were able to like sit on a bench somewhere. And after about I go up, talk to them, I come back. Thank God I have the family I have. Natalie and my parents immediately look at me and they go, let's just go to Popeyes to get chicken. We don't care. We'll go to Popeyes to get chicken right now. I went, hold on. I went, hold on. We're not going
No offense to Popeyes. It's wonderful.
We love Popeyes. I said, but we're not going right to fast food. Give me a second. So I go back over and I talk to a lovely young person. I won't say anything about them because I don't want to get them in trouble because they basically threw the place under the bus and was like, this is them being greedy. You shouldn't.
I'm guessing the name was Rachel. That's just
sure. It was Rachel.
That's the name.
It was Rachel. And they're like, and Rachel's like, yeah. Rachel goes, I know who you are. I'm sorry about this. This is a disaster. Let me see what I can do for you.
Now I'm picturing Jennifer Aniston. Go for it.
Yeah. Let me see what I can do for you. But I say, Rachel, and in my mind I'm thinking, if you had said that to me very quietly somewhere else, I could take you up on that if you could help me out. But you said it to me in front of other people who've been waiting. I said, if you'd help me out, what about these people?
Wow.
They've been waiting longer than you know what kind of animal I would have looked like. I'd already talked.
He's a Christian.
But but he was hungry. That balances it out.
Well, so
I think you were hangry.
So what I did was, I got on the phone. I called one of my favorite steakhouses, who I have no business relationship, who I didn't shout out for a damn week leading up to it, and I called Strip House. I said, do you have room for 4? They said, we sure do. We went down to Strip House. We sat down like gentlemen and gentlewomen, had a hell of a meal, and it was great. But I promised the people at Fogo de Chão that I would crush them on the radio. Disgraceful.
And television.
Disgraceful. 53rd Street, Fogo de Chão. How do you take reservations 5 weeks out and have people starving on Thanksgiving?
Because you're greedy.
It's wrong.
You're greedy.
It's wrong. Especially me, friend of Brazil.
So it was a clown show.
Complete clown show, and I immediately thought of Mike. I went, Michael, he was right. We shouldn't have come here.
Right.
But Strip
we
House
had
was amazing.
4 plates waiting for you, empty at my sister's.
You left them empty?
Yeah.
Like in tribute?
Because I knew it was going to go wrong. I said, they'll drive up here. They will.
But it would have been too late. What time did you have dinner?
We had the lasagna at 3.
Yeah.
And we had the turkey at 5.
Yeah, so you were already done.
Reservation was at 6:30. You guys were on dessert already.
Yeah, you were already done.
Yeah.
Well, you going to give them scraps?
But we had leftovers. We could have reheated
But
it.
I do want to say something about the experience overall, Don. Eating at a steakhouse and just ordering a steak and a bunch of sides and having a lovely beverage. First of all, the lack of work was amazing. Second of all, can I just say something? As someone who struggles with the huskiness, if you will, the metabolism, if you know what I'm putting down,
the bloat.
It was great, honestly, to not have leftovers. I just had one meal, and then I moved on with my life.
Right.
Normally, I gain 8 pounds over the weekend.
Like Thanksgiving lasts the entire weekend.
And I'm fighting it I'm fighting the weight till New Year's Day. I had a meal. I moved on the next day.
Right.
I went to Vancouver. I lived my life.
Yeah, but if you had gone to Debbie, she wouldn't have let you leave with leftovers.
That's a great point. That's a great point with Debbie.
She would have said, here, take some leftovers.
But only an animal would have.
But we got a 24-layer chocolate cake to die for. We shared
24?
it. 24-layer cake.
How high was that? That'd be about 2 feet.
No, about 2 feet high.
Yeah.
I had Natalie and I shared a 12-ounce filet, whipped mashed potatoes, cream spinach, mac and cheese, some gnocchi. It was fantastic.
I know it's a very difficult thing for you to say.
Go ahead.
But I'd like to hear it slowly and articulately.
Yeah.
Michael, once again, you were right.
No, don't cave. He's not right.
Here's the thing. I'm the first person, because I'm everything that's right with this nation. To tell, I'm everything that's right with this country. Because when I do wrong, I look at the camera and I say, I got it wrong. I'm sorry.
Right.
You were right that Fogo de Chão turned out to be a disaster. But your logic was still completely wrong.
He's not right.
Eating out was still fantastic.
He never said, don't go to Fogo de Chão because they're going to ruin it for you. They're going to overbook. They're going to be greedy. Don't go. Then he would be right. But you ended up having the experience that he said you wouldn't enjoy.
Correct, and I loved it.
So Michael is wrong.
We loved it. First, when we got to Strip House, you've been to Strip House on 44th before?
Yeah.
I've been to strip houses, but not strip houses.
No, I'm not that guy.
We went. Strip House, a great. It was pretty chill in there, not that crowded. We went to the bar, like a civilized restaurant. It wasn't just a sea of humanity.
Right.
They said your table needs 5 minutes.
Right.
We went and sat at the bar. I got my mom a glass of white wine. Got my dad a Coke. We sat there like a family and enjoyed ourselves.
It wasn't a cheesecake factory on a Saturday.
The table needs 5 minutes. To me, it's a gig, is what it is.
What do you mean?
Because they want you to go to the bar and buy an expensive drink. They can put you right at the table right away.
No. We called 5 minutes beforehand. I expect there was a nice crowd. At the restaurant.
You bring the drink to the table. No,
it was like a gentleman experience. It's all. It was so great. I had a lovely steak meal. I'll do it again.
My kids were with fever. We stayed home.
They still had fever?
No, they were fine. We brought them to the game on Saturday. Then we went to a steakhouse after the Ranger game.
Now, wait,
he sent us a picture, by the way, of the kids with Dave Maloney. 3 times Dave Maloney interrupted the kids.
Is that true?
That's
not true.
Every time he...
No, but Marco and Jalen was not interested at all, but Marco did hang for half of the second period listening to me do play-by-play, which I thought was awesome. He then goes back to the suite, because ESPN got us the suite.
Wow.
And then in the middle of the third period, he taps Nancy and goes, how come I don't hear the game anymore? It's like, because you're not in the booth. You don't have headsets. Like, he didn't understand why all of a sudden he could hear the play-by-play.
See, that should worry you. That reminds me of Don in the time zones.
Yeah.
Yes,
he didn't understand that the headphones brought
he's going to be 7 in a week.
Yeah, he's much younger than Don. Let's bring in the commissioner of the NHL, Gary Bettman. Nice enough to join us here at the NHL store.
Obligatory booze.
He's the best commissioner in sports. Do you see what's happening with this sport? There's going to be 34 teams soon. You're on ESPN and TNT. Stop it. I'll get you John Ziegler here when you couldn't find the games. So stop it.
That's quite an introduction.
No, you don't deserve that.
Deserve what?
But you wanted more love from the crowd.
Who was that?
That's it. Right.
Leave.
How you doing?
You'd be a Nashville boy.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, guys.
Well, thanks for having us, and a happy holiday to you.
Like the store?
It's a great store. Really nice
the store is awesome, and
we were here last year too. It's fun.
Yeah, every year there's a new sort of special merch thing they're doing. It's a beautiful Penguins jacket. Thank you very much.
Very nice.
State of your league. How you feeling right now?
We're good.
Yeah.
I mean, everything starts with what takes place on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
The game has never been faster, more skillful, more entertaining, more competitive. We're seeing teams emerge and teams fall, and on any given night, anything can happen. And it creates a lot of interest and excitement. And franchises have never been healthier. Attendance, everything is really good, solid, on the upswing.
You know, what I fight is the stigma of the old way of everybody makes the playoffs, the regular season doesn't mean anything. But is that the fight to promote? Because seriously, you got when you look at the way the NFL, the Major League Baseball has expanded. The baseball's got 12 of 30. You have 16 of 32. It's not that big of a difference. Good teams miss the playoffs, but do you find that people, especially that don't follow it day in and day out, are kind of stuck in that same rut about the regular season?
I don't hear that as much as I used to 3 decades ago when I started that. If you go back when I was growing up, when you guys were growing up, 16 out of 21. Well, okay, didn't mean anything. But if you look at our regular season races, every game matters. Okay, we have teams, most of our teams are in the hunt until the last couple of weeks of the season. We have teams making or not making the playoffs by a point or two, and and once the playoffs begin, anything can happen. And so you want to get into the playoffs, and 16 out of 32 is pretty normal, basically, for all the 4 major sports. And so now I don't get that as much as we used to. And again, if you watch what's happening night in and night out, teams that you think are going to have an easy night wind up losing.
Obviously, generations of players cycle. We're watching it now at the NBA. LeBron presumably will get old one day. Steph is aging. We are now at the time where Ovi obviously has a serious injury. My beloved Sid Crosby and the Pens are in a tough spot. How do you feel? We've made it to this point. How do you feel about this next generation of superstars that you guys have built up?
Well, first of all, if you talk about Ovi, I heard he was skating today in warm-up clothes. I mean, he's he's making a run for Gretzky's record, which is going to be really excited. And having him and Sid has been just great for the last roughly 20 years. But then you have Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews and Bedard and Celebrini, and the players, they're younger, they come in more skillful than ever before. And one of the great things about sports is how it regenerates from generation to generation. And that's what we're seeing as well. And, sometimes teams that have made the playoffs for 18 or 20 straight years have to take a step back for a couple of years to rebuild. But that's the beauty of the way we're set up right now. Every team basically can compete. And maybe you have less than a handful of clubs that you say, well, they're genuinely rebuilding and they're going to have a rough season or two. But on any given night, they can knock off anybody. And so that's why the game's in a really good place. I think overall, the quality of play and the quality of players has never been better. And part of that is, all the youth hockey that's going on and how players develop into elite hockey players and ultimately make it to our league.
Maybe the answer to this is just, they're wired differently. You don't have load management.
No, we don't.
And, as a commissioner, I'm sure Adam Silver, if he had hair, would pull it out. I mean, how happy are you that you don't have to deal with that?
Well, I try not to dwell on things that could be a negative. I'm happy with what we are, and I love the fact that our players go out every night. The rap on us is, our guys don't like to disclose injuries.
Right.
People who bet tend to focus on that, but they don't disclose injuries because they want to play. And our guys love the game. They love playing. They're intense. They don't want to let their teammates down. And I think that's one of the strengths of NHL players and of our game.
So you got the Four Nations coming up in February.
Yeah, tell us what that is.
Yes.
Okay, so people tend to forget this. We were in the Olympics. We were out of the Olympics. When we went to Nagano, I guess it was in '98, we had made arrangements to finally have NHL players represent their countries in the Olympics. Up until that point in time, NHL players didn't play in the Olympics. And we went, and it's a bit of a disruption. You and I had this discussion decades ago. It's a bit of a disruption because you get to what is going to be the, if you will, the fast break to the end of the season and the stretch run, and it turns out that we take a break. And it's a little disruptive because a number of our teams, NHL teams, will send 1 or 2 or no players, and some will send a half a dozen or more, because a third of our players overall come from outside of North America, outside of Canada and the U.S. And so some teams are going to reconstitute themselves after the Olympic break very well rested, having spent 10 days on the beach with their kids and, relaxing. And others are going to be a little more tired from a grueling, intense, exciting competition at the Olympics halfway around the world. In the final analysis, we stopped going, and then we agreed to go because ultimately our players made it clear, in a good way, that this was important to them. They wanted to represent their countries, and frankly, hockey, best on best, probably is as good as any sporting event that you could have. So, next year we're going to go to the Olympics in Milan. Then 2 years after that, we're going to bring back the World Cup, which is a testament to how well we're working with the Players Association and the cooperation with Marty Walsh, the new executive director. Then 2 years after that, back to the Olympics. Then 2 years after that, World Cup, and so on. So we're going to get on a regular schedule. We agreed to all this the end of last season, and we said we'd really like to start giving the world a sense of what our best on best internationally players representing their countries would look like. But in a short window, you couldn't do a full World Cup, so we decided let's take Canada, United States, Finland, and Sweden and have a mini, if you will, international best-on-best tournament, which we're going to play in Montreal and in Boston. And it's a little bit of an appetizer as to what people can expect from our international competitions.
And just for this year, in lieu of the All-Star game.
And right? In lieu of the All-Star game.
Usually,
the following year, we're going to do the All-Star game from UBS on Long Island, and then send everybody, it's a good central point to send everybody off to the Olympics.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
An issue resolved itself with Arizona going to Utah, and so far that has been...
Didn't exactly resolve itself. It had a little help.
No, exactly. But so the health of the league has never been better. We could talk about what's going on with the Panthers. They win the Stanley Cup. What's going on with the Islanders? They have a brand new building. A lot of things definitely good. So there's the temptation of expansion. Other cities want teams. Do you have an appetite to expand beyond 32?
We're not focused on let's expand and figure out which markets are interested. I don't view it as our manifest destiny to have 33 or 34 or 36. But we get lots of expressions of interest on an ongoing basis. And there are really 4 criteria that I think and the board thinks you need to look at if you're going to expand. Who the owner's going to be, perhaps the most important. What the market would be. Is it one that would support hockey? And frankly, everywhere we go now, hockey does, NHL hockey does well. Third, is there a building that's a professional state-of-the-art building? The problem, ultimately, why we had to leave Arizona, because couldn't keep playing in a college rink, and there was no prospect, at least for the next 5 years or so, of getting a building. And then finally, would it make the league stronger? Will it enhance our footprint? And so if somebody can come in and says, we're going to show you how we check all the boxes, we're going to write you a big check, whatever that is, we're ready to go, we'll have the building, then it's something I'm sure we would consider, but we're not pushing for that. If it happens organically, then we'll deal with it.
Has Vegas been everything you guys hope for?
Yeah, Vegas and Seattle, I think the conventional wisdom is those may have been the 2 most successful expansions in any sport ever. We because of our competitive balance, which we discussed, the owners decided we don't want to bring in some teams that are all surrounding. Typical expansion mode for all the leagues historically has been, you give a modest team, and that's being generous, and the initial enthusiasm wears off in 2-3 years because the team doesn't win, is not competitive, and then 7 or 8 years later, after about a decade, team gets competitive and the excitement comes back. So why would we do that? All of our teams can be competitive. We'll give them a deep draft, let them be competitive from day one. We believed in Vegas from the outset. We were the first ones to go there, although now I think everybody thinks they've invented the city. And Seattle, we know, great sports market, and was hurting a little in terms of their winter sport menu and ownership, buildings, markets. And I think they've all made the league stronger, and that's really the prototype. But we gave them a good competitive team to start with, and that pays dividends, and the fans have been great.
Talking to NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman. Gary, I've known you for decades now. And I've got to ask you this. I've never seen you this relaxed. You're wearing a hoodie. You've got a growth of beard going on. I mean, is this a new look for you?
Nah, it comes and goes. Actually, I'm a little tired today.
Okay.
Because we spent Thanksgiving weekend as a family in Vermont.
Nice.
At our house there. And then yesterday, I drove from Vermont to Boston to be at the Centennial game. And then after the game, we drove back to New York. So the day started at the crack of dawn, walking the dogs, and then got home about 1:30. Worked out with my trainer at 6:30, and so I'm on a little bit of fumes.
It's a good look.
I'm on a little bit of fumes.
And maybe one of the reasons you're relaxed too is a conversation that doesn't have some sort of a pending work stoppage. It seems like the relationship with the Players Association has never been better. What do you credit to that?
By the way, we all look kind of casual, right? You look
I'm very casual. I love that you.
But this is as casual as I've ever seen you, and it's a good look.
I've always, I think the rap was, people, at least from afar, thought I was a little stiffer than I actually am.
Right.
But that's okay. It's good. Collective bargaining. Marty Walsh, former Secretary of Labor in the Biden administration, former mayor of Boston, former head of unions in Boston, is running the Players Association. I think it's fair to say we have the most collegial, cooperative, best relationship I can remember in my 3+ decades. And we have the rest of this season and one more season under the current collective bargaining agreement, which we extended during COVID. And we've agreed to start talking now, sooner rather than later. Players Association doing a little bit of its internal homework. We're doing the same, and I think we're going to start talking in February, and I'm optimistic we can do this in a good way.
Do you and, Goodell and Manfred and Silver ever get together in the mahogany room with brandy and just talk about
You mean go to the clubhouse?
Yes.
No, probably once a year or so we get invited to do a panel together. Right. We're at the same conference. We're all friendly. We all periodically call each other, but there is no, centralized organization.
Yeah, no skull and bones.
But which one do you like the most, though? Of the other three?
No. I like them all. They're all good guys.
Okay. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you
so
much.
Thank you for being here. And,
it's our pleasure.
Come back anytime.
Thanks
and
very
enjoy
much.
the season.
Thank you. That's the commissioner of the NHL.
Now they cheer.
Yeah, now they
turn
cheer.
Them around.
Yeah, absolutely. Gary Bettman. Peter, I know you have something to tell us. Advertising-wise.
I just.
It's the Monday you've been waiting for. DSW's Cyber Monday sale is happening now at DSW.com. Today only, save 35% on almost everything online. Score the best deals of the year on must-have shoes, giftable bags, and cozy extras for everyone on your list, including you. Don't miss out. Save 35% online only at DSW.com today. Exclusions apply. Details at DSW.com.
You could pick from hundreds of law firms for your mesothelioma or asbestos lung cancer case, but would you be confident that you made the best choice? Whites & Luxembourg is the firm that has represented more asbestos disease clients than any other firm in the metropolitan area. With 30 years experience, they have New York's highest recorded asbestos verdicts of all time. The choice is clear, and the stakes could not be higher.
Whites & Luxembourg has our backs.
Call Whites & Luxembourg today.
Call Whites & Luxembourg today at 917-LAWYERS. That's 917-LAWYERS.
Welcome to the Warehouse, home of Blitzball Battle 5, where the big leagues meet the backyard. Pro athletes and some not pro athletes. Hearts on the line. Games that matter just enough.
It's on to the final!
Blitzball Battle 5 premieres November 4th. Watch all year round on Warehouse Games YouTube.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
When you see all the people who work at Shriners Hospitals for Children, you might see everyday people just doing their job. But to me and other kids, they aren't just receptionists, therapists, or doctors. They're superheroes. But these superheroes are only able to help all of us kids because of the support of people just like you who empower their abilities so we get the care we need to live our lives like super kids.
Because of people like you, I can play the violin.
I can play piano. And I can walk. Please go to loveshriners.org right away. Help us be superheroes too.
We're unboxing unbeatable values for your home every Friday in November, because every day is like Black Friday at Bob's. And our final unboxing is $9.99 Bonanza. I've got $9.99 bedrooms that'll knock your socks off, $9.99 power sofas, $9.99 sofa love seat combos, $9.99 mattresses, even a $9.99 real marble dining set that'll turn your world upside down. Cool. How'd you do that? Shop every unboxing in store or online, because every day is like Black Friday when you dare to compare at Bob's.
Welcome to Nissan. Are you interested in test drive?
Absolutely. There's the all-new Kicks, the new V6-powered Frontier, and the Nissan Rogue. Consumer Guide's Best Buy 10 years in a row.
Finished with all your holiday shopping?
We are now. Hurry in to the Nissan year-end sales event. Now get a low $229 per month lease or get 0% APR financing for 60 months on Rogue.
Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to slim. From our iconic button-downs for all shapes and sizes to a whole lot more. Try us today. Untuck It. We just make guys look better. Oh, and we make great styles for her, too. Find the perfect gifts at untuckit.com and more than 80 stores worldwide.
The Brooklyn Nets aren't just a team, man. We're part of this whole community. What's coming will be worth the fight, I promise you. So let's get it. See, this is Brooklyn's team. And we doing it the Brooklyn way.
This land is your land.
This land we love belongs to all of us. Yet not everyone is treated equally. Right now, millions of Americans are fighting for the things promised to all by the Constitution. Learn how the ACLU is defending the right to vote, free speech, and other civil liberties at myaclu.org.
From the personal experiences that shaped you to the accomplishments that shaped the world, every moment of a veteran's service is meaningful. At the Library of Congress Veterans History Project, we ensure those moments are never forgotten. For 25 years, the collection has made the experiences of U.S. military veterans accessible to all. Veterans, now is the time to share your story and make our history more complete. To submit your stories, photographs, and documents, visit loc.gov/vets today.
Hi, everyone. Hi. Oh, there you go. Welcome to ENN.
Ray Rowe. On TV.
Sure. It's brought to you by Security Dodge. Shop 24/7 at securitydodge.com during their Wrap Up the Year sales event. I'd like to start off this big ENN by saying good evening to Michael and myself.
He did a lot with the hyphen.
And he had a nice long hyphen.
He had a nice hyphen.
Yeah.
Are we still talking about hyphens at the end of that?
I don't know. Let's say good evening to all of us. You been to Strip House on 44th before?
Yeah. I've been to strip houses, but not strip houses.
No, I'm not that guy.
He got mad. Like
Because
everybody.
I'm just not that guy.
And everybody knows that. It was funny.
Yeah, whatever.
Michael, I'm not that guy either.
Nor I.
Yeah, actually, none of us really are, but
It never made sense to me. Starving man, go to look at food.
Yeah, it's like going to Fogo de Chão. Thank you. All right, in some foosball news from yesterday.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
San Francisco's running back Christian McCaffrey suffered what is believed to be a PCL injury in his right knee on Sunday. I don't know if you guys saw the play. It's sort of awkward. Just slid down to one knee immediately, then jogged off the field. Kyle Shanahan says, quote, I think it's potentially season-ending. By the way, what a shame. And you could basically say at this point, once they were down in that game, you might as well end McCaffrey's season. Like, just given what Christian McCaffrey's history is,
I know.
Would you really be trotting him out a lot at this point anyway?
Well, I mean, but they can still make the playoffs. It's not a great division they're in.
Yeah, Seattle's leading right now.
Yeah, and you saw Seattle. I mean, they won because it's the Jets.
Is Seattle up to 7 wins? Or Seattle and Arizona both have 6. God, are we going old school NFC West?
We're going.
Oh, I love it old school.
7 and 10.
Smells like a Thursday out there in the NFC West. So I guess you're right. But honestly, if you're the 49ers and what they've been all year, and I get it, you always have to play for the playoffs. But the kind of team that you've had, at what point do you go, you know what, it's just not this year? Like, you want to fight and make the playoffs and see if you go on a run to win. They're not going to win the whole thing. This isn't the NFC of yesteryear.
I'll tell you what, the McCaffrey deal doesn't look good now.
He's
only been hurt. They gave him a lot of money again. They re-signed him, and, you know, it's a shell of him.
Saquon's sitting around going, see, what I tell you people.
Yeah.
I mean, at this moment, there's not even a conversation. At this second, Saquon is the guy. He's kind of regained the spot.
And Derrick Henry.
Well, that's Derrick Henry.
Right.
It's the Purple Birds.
Yeah.
Although he got pile-driven last night during a football game.
Hey, I have a point I wanted to make about Derrick Henry, and I've never been able to make it on the air.
Interesting.
He's famous for the stiff arm where he puts it right. He's pummeling people's helmets. Why is he allowed to do that, but the defense can't? Yeah. Why is an offensive player allowed to slam you as hard as he wants in the helmet, but a defensive player can't?
It's called, they literally didn't think of that. It's borderline the goalpost in the front of the end zone. You could basically grab someone by their face and throw them on the ground if you're on offense.
It's amazing.
It doesn't make sense.
And I don't like it.
Well, you're not grabbing the face mask. I guess you want to include it in illegal hands to the face, but it's not. Yeah,
blocking. But he is hitting the face as hard as he could.
You're not allowed. If you jump, if a defensive player gets to the quarterback late and while falling down, their hand skims the face mask.
Right. Well, that's because it's the quarterback.
But a defensive player is not allowed to hit the guy in the side of the helmet.
Yeah, you can't do that either.
Henry is pounding the guy in the side of the helmet.
I get it.
He's seeking out contact.
Well, did you notice the NFL tries to create more offense? Everything's skewed towards really a disadvantage to the defensive player.
It's a health danger, though. And I'm against that. Health dangers.
Taysom Hill will miss the rest of the season with a knee injury.
Say it again?
Mm-hmm. That's according to Adam Schefter. A hit in the 21-14 loss to the Rams. So if your Saints money was big, I don't know if you like that. Also, Justin Tucker, in the world is upside down news. Well, Justin Tucker just can't play anymore.
When it's over, it's over.
I mean, the worst game ever.
This has a very NFL yesterday feel. What do you got at that point?
Oh, I got so much more.
Oh, okay.
Tucker misses 2 field goals and an extra point in the loss to the Eagles. That was enough to win the game.
He's not just a good kicker. He's one of the greatest of all time.
I think he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Mark Mosley won. Chip Low-Miller, 2.
Right. Chip Low-Miller?
Yeah, I'm putting Low-Miller.
Over Morton Anderson?
Oh, yeah.
This could be a very, not for the air.
Gogolak.
But this could be a good, like Don Show lunch conversation. Greatest field goal kickers of all time.
Number 98. Number 98, Morton Anderson.
Gallagher-Premian.
Number 96, Gary Anderson.
Yeah.
Tom Dempsey's number 48.
Pat Summerall. Why did Don just become Francesa in that version, too?
Because when he does the Don Show, that's what he sounded like when he did that.
Okay, how about this, guys? Well, you know what? I'll save the Trevor Lawrence. Let's save the Trevor Lawrence hit talk for NFL yesterday.
Interesting.
Mets signed Frankie Montas.
It's a lot. I mean,
you're talking about 2 years, 2 years, $34 million.
And it's only 17 for him, and if he gets hurt, then he'll pick up the set. But the Mets are having guys, all right, work yourself out. We have people that will get the most out of you, and then go cash in. So it happened with, obviously, Severino and Manaea and Quintana, and now they're trying to do it with Montas. I know the Yankees always love Montas, but he couldn't stay healthy.
Lots of flag planting this weekend.
Oh, my. On Saturday was ridiculous.
It was like a Royal Rumble in college football. Fight after fight.
And you know what? Football's become like hockey and chase now. Everybody's throwing down.
If Ohio State had acted with that same kind of energy during the game, they might have won the game. They wouldn't have had a flag planted on the O. And then Ryan Day's just standing there, as the right.
So that's your reaction.
People were pepper spraying.
And it wasn't just OSU, Michigan. There's Clemson, South Carolina as well.
The sportsmanship's out the window.
You know what, though, guys? Something wonderful did happen in sports this weekend.
What?
Listen close, and you'll hear something wonderful creeping up in the distance.
Oh, no, yes. This is big.
I thought he was dead. Not literally.
Talk of my death and demise has been greatly exaggerated, Dom. Kiki is back. Yeah. Interim head coach. I literally don't even know what it means. But I'm going down to North Kakalaki, and I'm going to be an interim head coach. I don't know if that's defense or offense or special teams, but I'm going to lead the team to victory and greatness in the great city of Kakalaki. Some of the best barbecue in America. As Petey Pablo once said, raise up, take your shirt off, wave it like a helicopter. Kiki is back. Woo! Kiki.
Wow.
Nice to have you back.
Happy to be back. Glad to be back.
So North Carolina's Kakalaki, is that it?
North Kakalaki. Some of the best barbecue in America down there in that land. Some of the great history of the football, too. You got Drake May, who played down there. Vince Carter.
Mm-hmm. Lawrence Taylor.
Is that right?
Yeah.
LT. Rasheed Wallace.
Really?
Jerry Stackhouse. A lot of great basketball players.
Tyler Hansbrough.
That'll do it for ENN on this Monday evening from the NHL store right here in New York City, brought to you by our friends over at Security Dodge.
Well, mark your calendars for the ESPN New York holiday party on Friday night.
The Michael Kay Show on Yes is brought to you in part by Bigelow Tea, who encourages you to grab a mug and tea proudly.
It's amazing to think that my grandmother started Bigelow Tea right here in New York. And today, we're still a family company. And you have to remember, tea, that's all we do. So every cup counts. That means never compromising. My family won't let that happen. And our extended family, they give their all every single day. And our community, well, they expect that.
I want a cup of Bigelow Tea to be a moment just for you.
That's what I hope for.
You could pick from hundreds of law firms for your mesothelioma or asbestos lung cancer case. But would you be confident that you made the best choice? White & Luxembourg is the firm that has represented more asbestos disease clients than any other firm in the metropolitan area. With 30 years experience, they have New York's highest recorded asbestos verdicts of all time. The choice is clear, and the stakes could not be higher.
White & Luxembourg has our backs.
Call White & Luxembourg today.
Call White & Luxembourg today at 917-LAWYERS. That's 917-LAWYERS.
With so many games on Hard Rock Bet, you can win from almost anywhere. Like here or here.
Yes. Don't go with your good luck.
Or here.
Blackjack! Never doubt the lucky seat. Respect the seat, Lewis!
Casino games for every kind of player. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Lucky seat strikes again!
The baseball offseason is heating up fast on Yankees Hot Stove, presented by Hexclad.
Soto is a generational talent.
It is going to dominate the offseason. We're grinding through it, and when everybody's on the clock.
We're turning up the heat on the Yankees Hot Stove season premiere tonight at 6:30, presented by Hexclad.
'Twas the night before Sprightmas, but feeling mad lame, 'cause Santa was out with a high ankle sprain. We needed a sub that was down for the cause. Then into the game came our man, Santa Claus. His task was not easy, but it had to be done. Sprite Winter Spice Cranberry for everyone. The holiday parties were just kicking off with eggnog aplenty.
More like eggnog.
When what to their thirsty eyes should appear, but a slayer slays with 8 tiny wolf deer. AE drove hard to the hole all Winter Spice night, dunking down chimneys.
Keep the highlights.
This limited Sprite made the holidays lit. As for once in his life, it hit nothing but brick. And they heard him exclaim as he peeked out of sight.
Merry Spritemas to all, and to all a good Sprite.
Dear non-stick surface. You're great for scrambling eggs, but to drive on, well, that's what it feels like when things get rough. Good thing we have amazing traction. Let's bond. Toyota all-wheel drive vehicles.
Get Black Friday savings all month long. Lease RAV4 with all-wheel drive for just $299 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
In New York, all that anyone is looking for is a chance. In a place with endless possibility, New York Public Schools gives students the chance to find their voice in a chorus of millions, to play their first notes before striking a chord with the rest of the world, to learn small lessons in the gym before shining in the league, to not just study the stars, but see them up close. And every time you take a chance on the New York Lottery, our schools win.
What if you went to your secret hiding place and found this? All drug use comes with risk. Before those risks become real, know that you can quit. For help with drug use, call 1-800-662-HELP for free and confidential information and treatment referral, or go to samhsa.gov/knowtherisks.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
You got a minute?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
Ice Picks.
Time for Ice Picks, brought to you by Samuel Institute for Pain Management. He's got 18 career goals in 50 games against the Devils. I'm going to go with Chris Kreider, anytime goal scorer tonight for the Rangers against the Devils. That's Ice Picks, brought to you by Samuel Institute for Pain Management. For a pain-free life, visit samuelpain.com today.
You remember, Peter, when Don did the 15-leg parlay at the end of the week?
Yeah. Did he win?
He went 5 and 10.
I won 5 and 10.
Yeah.
At least I tried.
You put it. You do. You give it a shot.
Nobody aims for the sun and expects to survive.
That's right.
But did you even get close?
No.
Yeah. Mike Richter, one of our favorite people, joins us now here at the NHL store.
Thanks, guys.
The only guy that got away with wearing a jacket that's got his name and picture on.
That is very cool.
Yeah, I just made this.
Yeah, I like it. For those that are listening on radio, it's a blue Ranger jacket, red, white, and blue, and it says Mike Richter. And there's a
Well, actually, the brand is FE, and we just met the owners in the back of the store. These things are extraordinary. They're made totally sustainably.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a pile of solar panels, which I love. I do a lot of that myself now, and they're able to put all kinds of iconic pictures on these things in a way that no one else possibly can. And if you look, Marty's got one too. You take the jacket inside and out, and it's got all his stats inside.
Yeah.
They're just.
And it's a pretty nice, like the actual
Oh
feel
my
of
God,
the
it's
jacket.
unbelievable.
It's a pretty nice.
It's a really cool thing. So I think you'll see a lot of this FE brand. It's really cool.
But you seem like a really humble guy. So I want you to be honest with me.
I am the best at being humble.
All right, well, I love it. I love it.
Better.
Would you walk around with that around the neighborhood?
No, but I got 3 boys that play hockey, and I will be all over them with this. Like, where's
I like
yours?
that. Yeah.
No, you know, it's. I think we're all. You know, I started out as a player in Philadelphia, and we're all hockey fans. Back then, you know, you get little cards or patches at the Acme, and it was really cool. They just didn't have what they have now. I mean, you're in Boston, Wayne Gretzky's head on the back of a jacket. It's amazing with all the stats and whatnot. And so they can make these small batches, and they'll keep coming up with them. But I just, you look at behind, unfortunately, your guys on the radio can't, but Marty's got the jacket. It's got all those stats in there. It's got great pictures of them. It's just kind of amazing stuff. There's amazing. Yeah,
Messier. They got the Islanders pop in, as you said, the Devils.
But we're all fans. We started out with this stuff. It's cool to be supportive, you know?
No, I was talking to John Delapina, who used to be cover the Rangers for the Daily News, now works over for the league. And we're just talking about the Four Nations coming up in February. And we were just reminiscing about '96 and America upsetting Canada. Where does that rank for you as a non-NHL event, but still something that really resonates with Americans?
I get asked that question a lot, and Marty and I were just talking about it. I think it's an extraordinary thing. '96 was in the beginning of the season, if you will. It was somewhere in August, so your whole summer is like you're focused on that. That's what you have to do. This one's in the middle of the season. It's very difficult for guys to kind of sever that tie with their own players. You might be playing against the guy you're sitting next to in a locker room because he's from a different country. But a couple things are going on. Number one, it's the best on best. Like, if you're a fan or you're a player, it's full stop right there. You want to be part of it. And so... also, there's a lot of pride in the line. This isn't an all-star game. It's an all-star lineup. But, look, Finland wants to win. Sweden wants to win. U.S. wants to win. In hockey right now, it's such an international sport. There are 5 or 6 teams that legitimately can go into a tournament like this, like the Olympics, and say, we have a chance to win the gold medal. And it's going to be whoever is playing great at that moment. So who's your goaltender? Who do you start? You can't take a shift off, let alone a period, because it's going to be you're behind the 8 ball so quick. So, for me, I love these tournaments, and the fact that the NHL brass got it together, it's hard to do, but it's worthwhile.
So we had Chris Mullen on earlier talking about Lou Cornacecco who passed, and he said something I'd never heard before, that he and Ewing were on the U.S. Olympic team, and they never said a word to each other. Man. Was that like you with any people that you were on that team with that you played against during the season?
No, I mean, just no.
It's unbelievable, right?
You have to. I mean, it's a really important. There's nobody in this tournament that's not a great player. There's nobody in the NHL that's not a great player. Every year, the skill level just. But you're looking at the best and the best. But you have to think about: do you have those glue guys that somehow get this disparate group of people that were just playing against each other to gel together so much that they'll go through a wall to win a game? And you're going to have to do that if you're going to win. And that's one thing that we had in 1996. Kachuk and Billy Guerin were the 2 guys that just made everybody laugh. They were young, they were tough, they were skilled, and it was kind of a different brand of U.S. hockey. And, man, they took no crap from anybody. And in the 4 walls of our locker room, within the first practice, we were having so much fun. It was like, boom, you just gelled like that, and suddenly you had a team. It wasn't just a collection of all-stars.
What about now? You said you were just talking to Marty. I mean, you guys were rivals.
Yeah.
So is that all? Does it put aside, or did you even get along when you played?
I still don't talk to Marty, no. No, Marty's great. Honestly, he's one of those goalies that was so easygoing. You'd always meet each other at the red line, He's like, hey, how's it going? Like, it's like a Sunday afternoon. You're in the 3rd game of the, conference finals, and he could just chat you up and laugh and have a great time. So I've known him just to play against him, but also just almost personally. Hockey's a small world, but goaltending union is very small, and Marty's one of the best. He's just really easygoing, and I've always just enjoyed being around him, play golf or whatever it is. But, over time, you get to see those guys that you hated, and they're great guys. Like Kenny Danigo, Niedermeyer, my son played with him out west in the last couple of years, and you just go, well, no wonder these guys won. They're great guys, they're character guys, and they're skilled.
You just said something in passing, though, about this version of the league, all the players are great players, and you can see it up and down, right?
Absolutely.
And the NBA has, of course, become like that as well. But if you go back to, like, when you were a rookie, at that time, were there still any players left in this league? And I'm not, obviously, I would never ask you for a name.
Yeah.
But who, they made it to the league, and they were guys who could scrap, but literally wouldn't even have a chance of making this league from a skill set standpoint?
I think the skill level's going up. And, yeah, for sure. And, one way of looking at it is like when Wayne Gretzky came into the league, think of 700 guys in the league. He'd be number 1. Who was the last guy? The 4th line used to be tough guys that couldn't get around too much, but you won't want to get in their way. They'll beat you up. Nobody can't play right now. Nobody can't score. Everybody was a 50-goal scorer at some point. And I just think the skill level right now, my kids are in college. I watch that game. It is phenomenal. AHL's phenomenal. So you just have this compression of skill up at the top levels, and then you take the cream of the crop from that at these 4 nation tournaments, and you really have something.
What do you think of this Ranger team?
I love them. I mean, look,
they're struggling right now.
They're struggling right now. There's no two ways about it, but they're very well coached. I think they're one of the most exciting teams in the league. It's a big, tough league out there. Nobody's going to give you an inch. Rangers got off to a great start. Now you got a target on your back. They have some injuries. I don't mind struggles. I mean, you got to get through them. And if they get through them, the hard way, and they learn something from it, they'll be better off for it. But man, oh man, every night is a battle. I know when I started my career, people were like, you're going to make the playoffs anyway. No, you have a couple hiccups now, and you're in real trouble even in October.
Can you empathize with what Igor is going through right now of trying to not only carry a team that's struggling, but also he's got a contract and with the salary cap, there's a lot going on for him.
There's a lot on his plate, but I mean, look, it's not easy to set the benchmark for the price of a goaltending, and if you're the management, you're like, do I want to do this? How do I do I want to lock him in with a salary cap? It's a really complicated, difficult thing. Igor somehow, I mean, I've been super impressed. He just does nothing but puts his head down and puts in a phenomenal performance again and again. So, the Rangers have their struggle, but he's been a real bit of stability, as has Quick. I mean, both of them are amazing to watch. And so, yeah, I've got a ton of respect for both those guys, actually.
It's funny. I mean, he can make upwards of $12 to $13 million a year. And I always ask this to the guys at broadcasting games with the Yankees, like O'Neill and are you guys jealous of what people make now? I mean, David Cohn won 5 championships, and Garrett Cole makes $36 million a year. Yeah. Do you look at Igor and go, why couldn't I be younger?
The only guy that ever annoyed me was Jeff Buchwald. No, I don't. I think this guy's worth every penny. Right. He is a spectacular player. The game is bringing in that much money. It's supply and demand. There's not a lot of Igor Shesterkins out there, so you got to pay if you want to, have the privilege of having him between the pipes. And I can't look at the guys now with the salaries they're making because the guys before me are looking at my salary.
Right.
It's just an evolution.
You didn't have a cap when you played.
Right.
So how much responsibility is on him that, well, if I get more money, that might mean somebody that's supposed to help me might end up having to go someplace else. Should he allow himself to think about that?
Yeah, and you see players do those really unselfish things and go, okay, well, defer some payment, or I'll take a little less. I need this guy on my wing in order to win a championship, and that is what it's all about. So it can be used against you, too, as a little bit of a weapon. Hey, man, we would like to get Cal McCarr. Could you take half your... Right. So there is a balance there, and it's hard to kind of game it all out. The best thing he can possibly do is what he's doing. Go out there and just play awesome.
See, that, Mike, that I could never be a guy because I'd say, no, I want the money. You guys figure it out.
You know what? It sounds, being self-effacing, but,
It's very real.
You didn't have to try for that one. That's just natural. You are natural.
Oh, yeah, right.
No, but when you have that locker room like that, you go to work every day with those guys. They are your family, and you rely on them, and I think that changes the equation pretty profoundly.
Really great to see you.
Yeah.
And have a great holiday.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for dropping by. That's the great Mike Richter.
Thanks.
All right, we'll come back in just a moment. We'll also talk to Marty Brodeur a little bit later on in the 5 o'clock hour. Give you a chance to win that VIP access to the holiday party coming up next Friday. It's Kay, LaGreca, Rosenberg, Richter, and you right here on Yes at 880 ESPN.
The Michael Kay Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to slim. From our iconic button-downs for all shapes and sizes to a whole lot more. Try us today. Untuck It. We just make guys look better. Oh, and we make great styles for her, too. Find the perfect gifts at untuckit.com in more than 80 stores worldwide.
Welcome to Nissan. Are you interested in
test drive?
Absolutely. There's the all-new Kicks, the new V6-powered Frontier, and the Nissan Rogue. Hurry in to the Nissan year-end sales event. Now get a low $229 per month lease, or get 0% APR financing for 60 months on Rogue.
Why pay more for an effective daily body lotion? Gold Bond Healing Lotion hydrates for half the price of the leading daily moisturizing lotion. It visibly heals and moisturizes dry skin in just one use. Choose Gold Bond.
This winter, when you find yourself looking at this, don't do this, or this. When it comes to snow, go with Snow Joe, the #1 brand of cordless snowblowers with ultra-powerful Ion Plus lithium-ion technology. Snow Joe's cordless snow shovels and blowers are the lightweight, cordless way to clear walkways, driveways, decks, steps, sidewalks, and yards.
So I've been using the Snow Joe products for several years now. I'm very happy and excited with the way that they work. I also have a battery-powered snowblower, which works amazing.
This handy grab-and-go snow shovel weighs less than 14 pounds, yet clears up to 300 pounds of snow per minute, throws up to 20 feet away with up to 70 minutes of runtime per charge. Got a bigger clearing job to handle? Forget about gas. Cut the cord and go with Joe. This 48-volt Snow Joe cordless blower clears over 10 tons of snow in 30 minutes on a single charge, about the weight of 5 pickup trucks. You only get that kind of power with Snow Joe's exclusive 24-volt Ion Plus battery technology with EcoSharp power management, driving a heavy-duty rubber-tipped steel blade auger that shreds snow without scratching the pavement and with 0 emissions. Best of all, it starts like this. Listen to how quiet it is.
After years of shoveling snow with a traditional manual shovel, my search led me to Snow Joe's cordless battery-operated snowblowers. Ended up being one of the absolute best purchases that I have ever made. Both me and my lower back, thank you.
Call now to order your Snow Joe today with prices starting at just $199.99. Or go online to snowjoeontv.com and pay as low as $19 a month. Order now and get 2 free gifts, a premium 3-year warranty, plus free shipping. A total savings of over $100.
Call 1-800-238-3495 or go online to snowjoeontv.com.
The Brooklyn Nets aren't just a team, man. We're part of this whole community. What's coming will be worth the fight, I promise you. So let's get it. See, this is Brooklyn's team, and we doing it the Brooklyn way.
Hey, small business owners, your company may need to file its beneficial ownership information with the federal government.
Welcome back to the Michael K. Show. Sure. Just got a chance to talk to Mike Richter.
All right, we did.
You know, I love to watch Don, because Don grew up a huge Jersey Devil fan.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point in his life,
sold out.
He probably loathed Mike Richter.
Sure.
Just like he did Joe Namath. But
Graves, Messier.
yeah,
Lee.
now
If
you got married again, they'd probably be at your wedding.
Oh, no, I wouldn't go that far.
Would any?
No, I would invite. I don't think that would show. No, they're great guys. Leach, Graves.
If he renewed his vows tomorrow,
right?
The only pro hockey player, I believe, I'm not speaking out of school here, who's coming to Don's wedding is Ken Danica.
No, I think
you don't think Dave Maloney would?
Dave Maloney would go.
Sorry. You know what? But
and he would interrupt the vows.
If anyone speak now, or
right?
No, but I'm not counting Dave on account of their work partners. It's kind of a little different. But just a straight friend from the NHL, I know Danico's coming.
Well, he was just here too. He waved.
Danica was
here? Danica was here. Yeah. Kenny Albert was here. I'm a little annoyed.
Kenny Albert?
That Kenny did not come by and say hello. He waved to me, but he didn't come over to the dais.
Most people would probably not know that I could play the piano by ear.
Right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Why would you just swing by?
Yeah, this is not a swing by place. I mean, it's like
Kenny's. I say this as affectionately as possible.
No, this doesn't sound like it's going to be affectionate.
Is an odd duck. He's an odd duck. He is. He really is. But he might be somebody that I'm going to go swing by the NHL store just because I can.
You see straight through there, Peter, the Ranger sweatshirt?
Yeah.
With the kind of like brownish.
Yeah.
That's something I'd like somebody to give me for free, after listening. Yeah.
Well, now he knows he's going to get it. That's what makes me...
Well, and you know what the bad job part about it is that's not even part of what we're promoting here today.
I understand.
That's just a separate, Mitchell and Ness sweatshirt that you just
But isn't
wore.
it great?
Oh, I got to tell you, every time I'm here...
It should be like a supermarket suite where they go, like they did to you at the Islander.
At the Islander game.
Yeah.
But the only problem with that is that the only option was all Islander stuff.
Right.
Which is great as it is. It's all the same colors. It's you look around here. I want to see that Duck sweatshirt over there. That looks awesome. The NHL just has so much cool stuff, man.
Taki Bacchanal.
I know that you guys are big on people who wear different team stuff is fraudulent. Sometimes with some of these leagues, man, it's just so many of the sweaters are cool.
But it is something that I think hockey has over the other sports. Is I think their jersey, it just seems to work, right? Because you get the logo, the colors. Even the hip hop world, I think, has embraced it. You go back to the old Gin and Juice video.
Oh, that's the '94 Penguins, Gin and Juice. By the way, the jackets that this company FE made, they're much cooler in person than I thought they were going to be. I really did.
And you haven't taken yours off yet.
I'm not taking mine off. This is my new winter jacket. This is their coach's jacket, I believe.
This is nice.
And I'll be wearing this all winter long. It's like a nice over jacket, but it's not so thick that you can't layer.
Show people the inside.
Yeah, look at that thing. It's beautiful.
I'll model.
Is that the city of Pittsburgh?
You know what?
I think it is.
And then the inside of the hood
all the bridges
is championship years. Oh, yeah, you're right. This is the city of Pittsburgh. But wait for it. The understated black-on-black logo.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Are you going to go Friday? I'm on the call. Rangers Penguins. Sid's coming to town.
You know what?
Friday night. 7:30 start.
Wait.
An hour after the show.
Wait. You know what?
We're all going to be in the studio.
Wait. You know what?
You know what?
If I can get in the suite. Now, I'll have Rock Boy with me. Boy, why can't he go to a hockey game?
Rocky the dog?
Yeah, Rocky loves hockey. It gets loud, though, is the problem with the hockey, right?
He can't hear anyway, the dog.
Lock him in the bathroom.
105 years old.
Lock him in the bathroom.
Yeah.
What is...
All right,
so the bathroom in the suite.
Oh, by the way,
it's better than some apartments.
And by the way, think about it. When people go to the bathroom, what a bonus! They walk in. There's an adorable Maltese wearing a sweater, staring right up at them.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm going to consider this.
Right.
One of the most oft and asked questions during the last weekend. People just want to know from me. Well, where's Soto signing?
How are you supposed to?
And I go, how am I supposed to?
That's the signing people are asking about the most.
It's where is he? Well, who else do you think they would think?
No, I don't know.
Wow.
We've had big people in the business
Sure.
that should know better that we're asking Michael earlier today.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I mean, I don't say that pejoratively, Michael. I mean, I don't know how you would know. I don't think there's any inside information. I don't know if you were thinking about this. I believe somebody tweeted this out. I forget who it was. It was somebody in the business. It might have been a former player that said, "You don't believe." There's so many bloggers and people that are just trying to make a name for themselves.
Right, they'll throw anything out.
Throw anything out, and if they happen to be right, all of a sudden it's like they're 15 minutes. And if they're wrong, they're wrong just like everybody else was wrong. Like, I wonder, is this Red Sox rumor real? Or is this, A, just some people just trying to make a name for themselves? Or B, is it, let's get Boris dropping that so they get the Yankees nervous, like we can't let them go to the Red Sox, so we got to up our offer. Like, when you take a look at the teams that are all involved in this, the Yankees don't want to see him go to the Mets. They don't want to see him go to the Blue Jays. They don't want to see him go to the Red Sox. The Dodgers are the only one I think they'd be okay with of those teams. So you wonder, are all these rumors just to scare the Yankees to give more money?
Well, here's what, and by the way, we're going to have a hot stove show at 6:30 on Yes. So Jack Kerr usually has the latest news on this, so that'll be right at the beginning of the show. I'll tell you what he knows, and I'll be on the show too, live from the NHL store, which is kind of neat. But
that is cool.
Here's what I tell people:
yes,
he's going to go the place that pays him the most money. I really, truly believe that. Unless there is something that I'm not reading where he really wants to be with the Yankees and he's using everybody else as a stalking horse to get the Yankees up to the highest price possible. I'm not feeling that. I'm feeling that he's going to go to the team that pays him the most money. Who that team is going to be, I don't know. I mean, if I had to guess, I guess it would be the Mets, because I think that Steve Cohen would reach into his own pocket while other teams might not. So I don't know, but I believe it's going to be done by next week.
All right. Yeah, I think so too. Was it Morosi said? I think he said 10 days or what. I said that's right around the time frame that we had gotten from Buster Olney, sometime between like the 9th and the 11th.
And the winter meetings next week.
Yeah, so it's either just going to be just before, so they can announce it at the winter meetings, or at the beginning of the winter meeting, something like that. But here's my angle. Let's just say, for sake of argument, he wants to stay with the Yankees. That is really where he wants to stay. And all of this is just to drive up as much money from the Yankees as possible. If I'm right, would there be a slight discount? A slight, like if it ends up being just a couple of $1 million, like, I don't know. So what's the number? Let's say the Yankees offer him $550, and the Mets come in at $560. Is that all right? Then you say he's going to go with the most money? Would he just automatically go to the $560? Or would he say, you know what, if it's between those two, I'll leave the $10 million on the table to stay with the Yankees?
I've always said that if the Yankees mean something to him, which it obviously meant to Judge, because Judge could have gotten more money from the Giants, could have gotten more money from the Padres. He didn't. He came back to the Yankees when they gave the 9th year. If he wants to be with the Yankees, if it's close, he'll go. if I'm reading it the right way and it's going to be the most money, then I don't know if he would give them a discount. I think it's about the most money.
I have breaking news.
What's that?
And it's not pretty if you're a Jets fan.
Okay.
U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has nominated investment banker Warren Stevens to be ambassador to the UK. No more.
He just kicked him right in the Woody.
He kicked him right in the Johnson.
Wow.
Yeah. I wonder if there are any Biden people that worked for the Jets that still voted for Trump, hoping that Woody would go.
I know. And
now we're
wow.
like, oh, no.
I can't believe it. He's not going back. How will our relationship with the UK survive?
Maybe he'll be sent to the Ukraine. Maybe he'll be the ambassador to the Ukraine.
You put him in a more important position.
Something like that.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? You never know. He may end up getting a real cabinet job this time around.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Head of, powder.
Excuse me?
No, Johnson & Johnson.
I think you got to be more specific.
Okay. So I thought of this.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to ask you to do something I don't know if you can actually do.
I hope I can do it.
I want you to become a Yankee fan for a moment.
All right.
So you grew up a Yankee fan.
Sure.
You love the Yankees, everything about the Yankees. You adore them.
Okay.
You hate the people you're supposed to hate. You hate the teams you're supposed to hate.
Right.
It comes down to this, Don. Yankee fan Don. Yankee boy.
Okay.
Would you rather
a Yankee Doodle Dandy?
Yes.
Thank you.
Would you rather Soto sign a long-term deal with the New York Mets or a long-term deal with the Red Sox? What would bother you most?
I think so I'm just applying it.
Tom, let's say that. Can we both answer at the same time?
Yeah.
Count to three. We both answer. It's like rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
And we'll say, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, and then we say which one we think would bother you more.
I'll say 3. All right.
So and then we give the answer of which would be worse if you're a Yankee fan.
Right. 1, 2, 3.
Mets.
Red Sox.
You said Red Sox?
I did. I said Mets.
All right. So your thought, Peter.
Listen, I get the whole city rivalry thing, and I know that you guys in particularly talk it up. I think there's somewhat of a disconnect between younger fans and older fans on the city rivalry. But if the Red Sox-Yankee thing is quiet right now because no team seems to be able to win a championship in this moment, and the last couple of years, obviously, the Red Sox haven't been super competitive. But if the Red Sox all of a sudden are really good and they're led by a guy who you had this brilliant taste of, but now he's gone and signs a 9-year. I think that will sting so much worse year after year than him just playing in the same town.
And Don, how about you with the Mets?
The logic I used was like, all right, what's a similar fandom that I have that's equal to being a Yankee fan? That would be a Giant fan. They're the number 1 team in town. The Jets are number 2. So all right, Saquon Barkley leaves.
He did.
Goes to the Eagles. It bothers me. If he goes to the Jets and it's in my backyard, playing in the same stadium I play in, putting the Jets on the map and now maybe overshadowing me would bother me more than just having another rival.
Bothering you more than a Saquon touchdown by the Eagles that keeps you out of the playoffs?
I mean, that's part of it too. But here's another thing. The Yankees are better than the Red Sox. I think the Yankees would be better than the Red Sox even if they had Juan Soto on the team. So if you keep doing what you do,
it turns quick.
All right?
Yeah, but you guys
and the Red Sox now are going to be. I'm sorry, Michael. The Yankees are going to be. The Red Sox are going to be restricted to do very much else if they sign Juan Soto.
Not necessarily. I mean, they've got a truckload of money.
But they also have an owner that's chosen not to spend. I think for this moment. But then is all of a sudden they're going to be able to break open the bank to go out and get a bunch of other players? Listen, it's a very, very difficult proposition. But you're opening, and a lot of Yankee fans don't even think that this is a possibility because they're of a certain age. There was a time where the Mets were more popular than the Yankees. Now, if the Mets start winning and they've got Juan Soto, it is going to be something that's going to be up your you-know-what every single day. When you go to school, there are Met fans. There's a lot of Red Sox fans, too, but I would think in New York, if you're a Yankee fan, you deal with a lot more Met fans than you do having to deal with Red Sox fans. So I get the competitive part of it, but I still think you're better than the Red Sox. There's other teams to be worried about, like Baltimore, like Toronto, in your own division. But to just put the Mets on the map with Steve Cohen, who can also add once he adds Soto. And all of a sudden, if the Mets become this destination, it becomes a real irritant for a Yankee fan to have to deal with.
Okay, so what Peter was saying, though, if you think about it, they impact whether the Yankees go to the World Series.
True.
The Mets, they play the Yankees at most 6 times, some seasons 4. I know it's going to be right in your face. That's why it's not an easy question.
But it's baseball, right? So there's one player make that kind of an impact. That's why I said I would like to see what the Red Sox can do beyond Juan Soto. They're an okay team. They overachieved last year, but still are around a 500 team.
Right.
What is Juan Soto worth in victories? I don't know. What is his WAR? What was his WAR?
About 8.
8. So if he gives the Red Sox 8 more wins, what does that make them, a wild card team? I get it, but I think the Yankees are in a position where even if they were to lose Juan Soto, this is still a team that, when healthy 2 years ago, they were good enough to go to the League Championship Series and probably the World Series if they weren't hurt.
All right, our buddy Joel Sherman reporting the Mets are among the teams who have expressed interest in Clay Holmes as a starting pitcher.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think he could be a starting pitcher. I think his stuff translates. I really do.
I think our next guest enjoys a baseball game or two.
Yeah, that is Martin Brodeur, the great Martin Brodeur.
I'm right about that.
And he joins us now.
A goat amongst us.
Are you a Yankee or a Met fan?
Yankee fan.
Good choice.
But I live in St. Louis, so more of the Cardinals. So.
Okay. So how you doing?
Everything's great, thank you.
Richter said he had a hard time sitting next to you. Did you feel the same?
It was okay. I'm bigger than him, so it's okay.
Yeah, he said you guys were great when you played together because you were just so laid back. And that's what always blew me away about you, that very seldom did you lose your temper. Very seldom did it. You couldn't tell what the score was by looking at you from afar. Was that something you kept inside, or were you just someone that you weren't bothered by the moment?
Just focus. It's like anything. I had a job to do, and there's a lot of intangible out there that if you start worrying about everything, sometimes it gets overwhelmed. So I kind of learned at a young age to try to, bad games, good games, doesn't matter. I got a job and try to do it as consistent as possible, and that's kind of was my motto when I played.
Do you, as a goaltender, if you're having a game where your defense is letting you down, maybe your offense is letting you down, do you have conversations with teammates during the course of the game, or do you not even worry about what they're doing? You just focus on what you have in front of you?
Well, if I see something that I don't like, I'm definitely going to tell them. I think that's a part of being a team. It's like you got to make sure you keep everybody accountable. It's the same thing if I didn't hold my side of the bargain. They would tell me. That's why we create championship teams like that, because you know exactly what to expect from your teammates and from your coaches, and you just want to make sure we're there not long. We're there for 2 hours. Like make the best out of it and be serious about it, but at the same time you could have fun.
All right, so this is an out of left field question, but I'm just thinking. When hockey started, the goalies didn't wear masks. Can you imagine playing that position with that vulcanized rubber coming at you without a mask on?
Never in a million years. Crazy.
And people did it.
Well, my dad did it. My dad played a long time without a mask. And
did he ever get hit?
Oh, yeah. He was cut up everywhere. He had a picture in the newspaper showing all of his little scars here and there. It wasn't just by pucks. It was a guy skating with a stick. It would just nick him in the nose or in the forehead. I don't know. A couple of times I lost my mask during the game.
Right.
And it's probably the scariest moment of my life.
It's mind-blowing to even think about. So from the time you were a kid, there was never even pickup without a mask. That was built into you playing, isn't it?
No, exactly.
All right, you got the Rangers and the Devils tonight. What do you think about this Devil team this year?
Well, we've been playing pretty good. I think we have a little period of adjustment early on. 7 new players, 2 new coaches on the bench. Our young players are playing well. The Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt, Luke Hughes. But it's a challenge when you have so many new guys to kind of build up like the team chemistry. And I think we're doing a great job. I think Sheldon Keefe's has done a great job going out and keeping these guys accountable. I think the older guys that are brought in, a lot more physicality than past years for the Devils. And we just got to keep it going. We always give ourselves to December 1st to see what type of team. And we're pretty excited about what we see on the ice.
I always felt it was kind of a little overrated to say you guys back in the day were always defensive. That 2000 team was a really good offensive team. But to see still an organization never had a 50-goal score, never had a 100-point score, to be able to see Hughes and Heishier, it's different to just see that kind of dominant forward wearing a Devil uniform.
Yeah, it's nice to see. I think it's exciting for our fans, when we get to Prudential Center and you see these guys go, when they turn it on, like, it's impressive. Like, we're sitting in the press box and we see like the speed of the guys, the how fast they play the game. And how risk-free they take the game compared to us. Everything was calculated just because that's the nature of the game when we play. But now guys are really creative, and they're fun to watch.
Now that you've got some time, from the end of your career to where we're sitting right now, do you have more of an appreciation for winning 3 Stanley Cups, like how difficult that is?
Well, as an organization, when you're part of management, you're trying to build this team that's going to, put you in the playoffs every single year. And I've been with the organization for 5 years. We made the playoffs 1 year,
right?
And last year it was a disappointment not making it. But knowing that we have the people in place to do it, but it's hard. There's 32 teams that want to do it. And you're the only one's going to win. And you need to build your team for the long run. And sometimes you get overwhelmed by playing in the regular season, and you get in the playoffs, and you don't have the horses to put you, through the first round. And obviously, with the Stanley Cup playoffs, the way it's set up, a lot of good teams are getting kicked out early in the playoffs, and it makes it even difficult because you're playing those divisional game early on.
You're on the management side, business side with the New Jersey Devils now. Is the ultimate goal for you to be a GM?
Not now. I think I am enjoying supporting Tom Fitzgerald as a vice president of hockey operation. It's I still have a 15-year-old at home. I want to spend my time with him. I played all my career while my kids were growing up, so I missed everything. So I want to make sure that I see him through at least to college. And we'll go from there, but it's not my intention to run a team. I just like to be around a team, and it's been fun.
We do sports talk radio. You obviously talk about the all-time greats in different sports. There's the Michael and LeBron and all these different conversations. The one thing that we always come up with is that hockey is the one sport where it seems to be there's this unanimous greatest, that never really changes, right? As someone who saw it up close, is the fact that we just always immediately say Gretzky is the greatest of all time, has anything made you change your mind or think anything differently, or do you think that is generally the way to see things?
That's the way to see things. I think Gretz is Gretz. Like everybody has so much respect, and not just a hockey player. If you get to know him a little bit or you get to meet him, you understand why they call him the greatest. Yes, at his sport he was, but as a person he's even better.
Now, do they have a Brodeur jacket?
Yeah, I got one
right there. Darn right they
do. There it is.
It's
right there.
I love the back of yours. This one is awesome.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Well, I was pretty amazed. It's reversible. Yeah. And inside's got all your stats on it. I thought that was pretty cool.
I was in the building the night you scored against Montreal, and I never saw you react that way unless you just won the cup. Is it one of the biggest career highlights for you besides the cups?
Yeah, it was. It's so, it doesn't happen too often for a goalie to score a goal, and I've tried it a lot.
I know.
So when finally it went in, I was excited. You saw by my reaction, jumping up and down, and especially it was against Montreal.
The playoffs, too.
Now, when you're sitting around in practice, just messing around, how difficult is it with a goalie stick to just actually put the puck on net from the other side of the ice?
It's not that hard.
It's not that hard.
No, it's not that hard. It's just when there's
the timing of the bodies.
There's 10 people in front of you when you're shooting at the pride, and you got to get it pretty high. So higher you get it, the harder it gets to be precise with
it. It feels like Igor is going to do it at some point. Shesterkin looks like he's got the ability.
If there's one goalie right now, I think he's the one that he's got that quick reflex to do it. Like he does it. He knows exactly when he gets the puck. He knows where he wants to make a play. So obviously, if the opportunity happens, he's going to go for it.
So you heading to the Garden now?
Yeah. You're going to be watch a great rivalry game again.
Well, good stuff. Thanks for dropping by.
Thanks,
Happy holidays to you.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys.
Marty Brodeur. Thank you for coming by. So Mike Richter and Marty Brodeur, two of the great goalies of all time, drop by to see us here at the NHL Store. We'll come back, take some of your phone calls. The number's 1-800-919-3776. If there's a Yankee fan out there, what would you rather? If you're going to lose them, would you rather lose them to the Mets or would you rather lose them to the Red Sox? It's Kay, LaGreca, Rosenberg, Brodeur, and you right here on Yes and 880 ESPN.
Nothing feels as good as driving a new Hyundai. And now you can get a great deal on your favorite model at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Plus, every Hyundai is backed by America's Best Warranty. Hurry to the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event before this offer ends. Make your next getaway your best one yet. This Black Friday, get a Santa Fe for 1.99% APR for up to 72 months or lease for $269 a month. Hurry in.
I started having knee pain in my early 50s. I'm Phil Simms, pro football legend and TV analyst. My knee pain would wake me up during the middle of the night. It hurt me every time I played sports, if it was basketball, tennis, and even golf. I quit being active, and it got to a point where I want to be active, and that's why I'm sitting here today.
Arthritis Knee Pain Centers uses an image-guided procedure that allows them to place an all-natural cushioning gel directly into the affected joint, restoring mobility and relieving your pain without surgery or downtime.
I think what really surprised me is how easy it was and how there was no pain to the treatment.
It's covered by Medicare and most private insurance.
I have no pain. That's gone away. And I got to tell you, I feel great. I'm back to playing a little tennis. I played pickleball, which I said I would never do. Arthritis Knee Pain Centers, they relieved my pain and changed my life.
Call Arthritis Knee Pain Centers now and schedule your no-charge, no-obligation knee pain screening. Call 800-823-3160.
At this very moment, Doctors Without Borders is on the ground in communities around the world, delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most. Our teams are bandaging war-wounded patients caught in the crossfire in Sudan, providing clean drinking water in Haiti, and performing emergency C-sections in Yemen. Doctors Without Borders teams are in over 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving work is made possible by our movement of supporters, people like you who help our patients even when they're half a world away. At Doctors Without Borders, we won't stop working to bring our patients and their communities from crisis to care.
Hurry into your local Acura dealer for the Season of Performance event going on now.
Why pay too much for cable TV when it costs less for Fubo? Get all the channels you want with all the entertainment you love for the price that cable can't beat. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to slim. From our iconic button-downs for all shapes and sizes to a whole lot more. Try us today. Untuck It. We just make guys look better. Oh, and we make great styles for her, too. Find the perfect gifts at untuckit.com in more than 80 stores worldwide.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks.
Get Black Friday savings all month long. Lease Tacoma for just $289 a month or get 1.99% APR for 72 months on a new Tundra. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
It's easy to stay safe online. Learn more at CISA.gov/secure our world.
Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael K. Show. It was a 3-point Orlando lead with 5:13 left in the game when Wendell Carter Jr. finished off this alley-oop for the Magic. The Nets' next 7 possessions came up virtually empty. Over a nearly 4-minute span, they turned it over 4 times, including an 8-second violation, missed 3 out of 4 free throws, and an alley-oop that was missed, all while the Magic started pulling away. This alley-oop from Goga Bitadze, that would seal the deal for Orlando. Nets lose the final 100-92. Cam Johnson sprained his right ankle last Monday in Golden State and rolled his left ankle at the end of last night's game where he put in a team-high 26. He said afterwards he's going to do everything to get ready for tonight's game against Chicago, and also said, it's the opposite ankle. I'm even now, so I'll be all right. Tonight, immediately following the season premiere of Yankees Hot Stove, Johnson and the Nets complete their back-to-back set of games when they meet the Chicago Bulls in the Windy City. It's the second of 3 meetings this season. The Nets took the first game on November 1st in Brooklyn. Our coverage begins with the pregame, followed by opening tip a little after 8. It's the Nets and the Bulls. Coverage starting tonight at 7:30 right here on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Gotham Sports app.
Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, here's your chance to score VIP access to the ESPN New York holiday party. That's on Friday, December 13th at Tommy's Tavern and Tap in Clifton, New Jersey.
I'll be there.
Be caller number 15 right now at 888-987-3776 to win. Come see the K-Show live and grab your raffle ticket at the door for a chance to win amazing holiday prizes. Increase your chances by bringing up the 3 unwrapped toys for donations benefiting the Garden of Dreams Foundation. All aboard the K-Sleigh. A free shuttle bus from Secaucus Junction to the holiday party, courtesy of the Good Life Transportation Company. To sign up for updates and for second chance to win VIP access, check out the ESPN New York app. All brought to you by Amazon Pickup, Shinesty, Flight by Yingling, Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, Samuel Pain Management, and Western Beverage. Every time I see the word sleigh, S-L-E-I-G-H, I think of my daughter. Because everything that you say to her, well, Callie, we're going to go to a movie tonight. Sleigh. Everything is sleigh.
It's kids. Why are kids? With all, I say this respectfully.
Yeah.
Why are kids so annoying?
Well, wait till Guadalupe.
Well, it'll be different language by then.
Yeah.
And by then,
sleigh will be so.
Sleigh will be
2024.
dead. Yeah. And every time you say the K Sleigh, it's really messing with me because one of the great hip hop DJs of all time, who we lost a couple of years ago during COVID, was my old friend DJ K Slay. So every time you say get on the K Slay, and Jacob, it's Jacob on the board today, right?
Oh yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I figured
Paul Jacob, we like to call him.
Yeah, because of the Kendrick beats, I figured it was Jacob. Jacob, I
don't think Tom goes with the Jacob,
the Kendrick beats? I don't know if he would have known. Jacob, I got to.
So you think he goes Partridge Family?
I got to send Anthony. The Drama King is in the building. The Drama King. For every time you say K Slay. You don't understand. It's like such a hip-hop thing. So every time you're saying it, we have listeners going, K Slay.
He's not the only one, because every time he said K Slay, I heard K Slay. I just think about the DJ.
So I'm gonna get the drop. I have K Slay's
now,
drops.
speaking of K, right?
Yeah.
So I've started to consume the Mr. McMahon
you're talking about the
documentary.
The Vincent Kennedy McMahon?
Right. On Netflix. It's I can't stop watching. I'm not a person who watches like everything, and I mean the only thing that's making me turn it, I'll look up at the clock, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, so I've got 2 more to go.
Okay.
It's so, I mean, maybe you know all the stuff because you've lived it. It's fascinating, and I didn't know.
Tell me, you didn't know the word kayfabe?
No. Explain to everybody what kayfabe is. It's like you carry your character in real life, right?
Well, yeah. Kayfabe is the world in which everything is being performed.
Right.
So, like, if it's in kayfabe, it means that you're in that world.
Right.
But as slang, it's used in a lot of ways.
It is. Okay.
Yeah. So, like, if someone tells me something that they don't want me to share with anyone, you also would say kayfabe. It's used it's used in a bunch of ways. Tell me the other things that you found fascinating, because we're talking about the Vince McMahon documentary on Netflix. I am too close to it to understand what regular people would find super interesting.
Well, first of all, I'm amazed because I know Shane personally, how much Shane looks like his father when his father was young. And, like, the Mr. McMahon character happened because WCW was kind of taking over. Then it was kind of the attitude. What did they call it?
The Attitude Era, yeah.
The Attitude Era. And then
so you found that interesting.
I found it very
the emergence of the Vince McMahon character.
Absolutely, because he had not been that guy. He would just, he would be.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I didn't know he owned the company.
Right. And then he became this, like, and then everybody, talking to everybody. They got a lot of people to talk, including Shane. How much is the Mr. McMahon character Vince McMahon? Vince said, well, not at all. But everybody else, including Shane, goes, yeah, it's close.
Now, did you get to the part yet when the him and Shane sort of falling out?
No,
part?
I think that's the next one.
That, to me, was, I would say that was the biggest surprise episode, just in terms of some of the details they give to you about how Shane was adamant, and I won't ruin it all, you'll get to it. Shane was adamant about them making a play to buy the UFC.
Right, that I know.
Well, you know that from real life.
I know that from real life,
right.
Yeah. And
so they get into that,
right.
And Shane's sort of frustration, and Vince basically at one point being like, if you want this company, you're going to have to kill me. Like, and you can't tell.
He did to his dad, essentially.
Yes, well.
He didn't kill him, but.
Yeah, but he did put him in a situation where he said, hey, you got to sell me this company.
Right.
The coolest thing I've ever seen, of all the cool WWE behind-the-scenes stuff that I've seen at their warehouse, sitting in a random envelope in that warehouse, at least as of a few years ago, I saw the physical contract of signed by Vince and his dad of him buying the company for $1 million.
Yeah.
It's a fact. I'm telling you, man, and to wrestling fans, we felt like they didn't even give us enough. Like there was more that we didn't even get.
Right.
I mean, they don't include the little idiosyncratic things about Vince's relationship. Like Vince eats like a crazy person. He does it. Everyone knows. I've never had a meal with the man, but I know he eats very limited food.
Right.
All protein and ketchup. That's literally like all the man eats. He's incredibly germophobic. If you like sneeze in a Vince McMahon meeting, it's like the worst thing humanly possible. There are just a lot of little idiosyncrasies that got left out that are like sort of hinted at, but you don't get the whole thing. But yeah, if you're looking for something to entertain you for a while, it's a fascinating story.
It is really, really well done. Let's go to Mark in Dix Hills. Mark.
Fellas, I got to tell you, it's a great backdrop. I love it. It's so colorful.
Is that Mark or Joe Fortenbaugh? What?
Joe Fortenbaugh. It's. And by the way, Don, are you drinking? What's in that glass, Don?
No, it's just water.
It's gin.
I wish it was.
Come on, a little Kettle One, Don. I think it's a little Kettle One. I know it. But anyway, fellas, here's my take on Soto. Okay, and you've heard it a million times. I'd love to pay him $700 million. I just love it. Here's the problem: what do you do at first? What do you do at second? What do you do at third? And what do you do in left field? And we need pitching. So what happens? Fellas.
You know, one thing I want to ask you one thing. I want to ask you one thing because I had a talk with somebody who said you need pitching. That was the last. You need guys in the bullpen. You don't need starters.
Pitching. You're right.
But Mark, just getting Soto, right, does not mean that you don't get the other things. I mean, you might not shop at Neiman Marcus to get those things. Maybe you go to Kohl's. But if you feel that if you have Soto and Judge, and we thank you for the call, at 2 and 3, when you could fill in other spots with younger players. I think you take another turn if you don't get Soto, then maybe you go a little higher at first. Maybe go a little bit higher at second or third. Maybe go a little bit higher to get that extra outfielder. But just because you get Soto doesn't preclude you from getting other things.
But
it's not like it bumps you up against something.
But it does limit where you're shopping.
Right.
You said it many times. It might mean that it's a rookie call-up, or it's somebody that's on a minimal salary, or maybe trying to catch lightning in a bottle. I think a lot of these fans, dream about having an all-star at every position. You might have to settle for somebody replacing Anthony Rizzo. You might have to settle for somebody in left field that if you lost Soto, you'd be shopping in the high-end stores, right? I mean, you'd be probably competing for Bregman as your next third baseman that you probably won't be if you get Juan Soto. So I do think both are true. The Yankees will be searching and will fill those holes, but they won't be doing it high-end because this will cut a lot into how much they're willing to spend elsewhere.
Let's go to Andres in Lyndhurst. Andres.
Hey, guys. How you guys are doing? So, First off, in relation to your question, right? Losing Soto to the Red Sox would be a major slap in the face to every Yankee fan that's on this earth, to the entire Yankee universe. The reason why is because his final interview after the World Series, he basically seemed like, all right, cool. I'm a free agent now. Forget about you guys. And then when they asked him, was the fan admiration, would that play into his decision-making? He said, no, probably for the owners, but not for him. And I just took that as disrespectful, right? But losing him to the Red Sox would be a major slap in the face. I don't even know how you play the game with him walking onto right field in the Red Sox uniform. It'll be brutal. But what I would say is they would have to re-sign Soto at 14 years, $48 million a year. That's $672. Try to talk to Rizzo. 2 years, $10 million a year. Put Caleb Durbin at second base.
Well, wait, you want Rizzo back?
You have to at this point, Mike.
But he has no power anymore, and he's not the same defender.
But you still have the experience. You need that veteran leadership in that clubhouse as well.
So bring back Ron Bloomberg, bring back Tino Martin. I like Rizzo too, but if you watched him play the last year and you think that there's still something there, I hope you're right. But that's a tough call. Maybe they do get Soto, and they could get Rizzo at $3 million, including the buyout, so that would make him a $9 million player. Maybe you do that. We always talk about this with Brian Cashman, that I think he'd like to be on a small market team to build. This is a team that you are building from scratch. The 2025 Yankees are going to be completely different than the 2024 Yankees. If you bring back Soto, who's your second baseman, who's your first baseman, who's your left fielder, all of those things, who's your third base, there's a lot of moving parts that he has to get creative. And if you don't get Soto, then he could really has a blank canvas in front of him. All right, build the team you've always wanted to build.
I think you've disagreed with me, but I think he longs for that. I think it bothers him that it looks like he's done checkbook general managing, that it's always just spending the money, that he wants to find bargains. He wants to find hidden gems that can turn out to be great players, and this will give him that opportunity. We're going to find out how good a general manager is because there's going to be a lot of work to be done. Just bringing back Juan Soto, Michael.
No, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work to bring him back, but it's also a lot of work to keep. Remember, they made the World Series last year, and I still think they can because the American League's wide open, but they didn't win the thing. So there's a lot of work to be done besides just re-signing Juan Soto.
Let's go to Danny in the Bronx. Danny.
Hi, Danny.
Hey guys, so first Don, $17 million for Frankie Montas. I want to know your thoughts on that. Clay Holmes, Michael, you said you think he could do it. I don't know. And my other thoughts to your question, Michael, like the other guy said, losing him to the Red Sox would be worse than losing him to the Mets. Now,
why do you say that?
The biggest thing. Because if they knock us out to go to the World Series, and he's the reason why, just like he was knocking out the Guardians, that'll be worse. That'll be worse to me. That'll be worse than losing to the Mets with Juan Soto in the World Series.
Good answer. That's a good answer. But the one thing, Danny, and we thank you for the phone call, he's going to be in your face for 15 years if it's the Mets. Every day. Every day. Battling for the back page of the Post. Every day. Forget about the 6 games you play each other. Every day you're going to see Juan Soto being the star of the Mets. Every day.
Would you say that the Mets are close, if not as good as the Yankees?
No.
Why? They were separated by like 6 games.
Well, right now they don't have a pitching staff.
Well, I understand, but they will. I mean, but going into last year, they weren't separated by much. Mets won all 4 games, and they lost to the Dodgers, so to the Yankees. I know the Yankees went to the World Series, but the Mets had a tougher road, having to go through Milwaukee, Philadelphia, and then eventually losing to the Dodgers. It's close, if anything. You add Juan Soto. And then with the money that Steve Cohen has, there's a possibility that the Mets will be better than the Yankees next year. I don't think the Red Sox will be better with Juan Soto. They'll be better than they were last year. They won't be better than the Yankees.
But from what I'm hearing, if the Red Sox get Soto, that's not the end. I mean, they have a really low payroll, so they could go out and get a big-time pitcher, too.
I mean, we could talk about why they let Mookie Betts go and why that they didn't spend money. But there's also the feeling that they are very cheap, and if they won't spend the money that you're talking about, at least do it the right way.
If they bring in Soto, though, some of their best prospects are outfield prospects, so they could take those prospects now and trade them to get great pitching, great relievers, and stuff like that. We know they have an outstanding manager as well, so I don't think it just stops with Soto. I think the Red Sox realize they are losing a generation of fans because of the fact that fans are saying they're cheap. These are the highest prices in all of baseball to get into Fenway Park, and we're not seeing a good product. They finished last 3 out of the last 5 years. So I think the Red Sox might have come to the conclusion it might be time to spend money. Also read this. I didn't realize this. They bought the soccer team in England. I think they bought it for $300 million. All right? Right now that team is worth $6 billion, 12 years later. So they've made some money. I mean,
are they plan on selling that team?
I don't know.
But again, that's just air. If you're not selling it, it's worth $6 billion. But unless you're borrowing against that or selling it, is it going back into the Red Sox or is it going back into their soccer team?
Well, you could always borrow against it too. So I mean, the money is there.
But I'll see. They went cheap. We'll see if they will all of a sudden become big time spenders.
The NFL yesterday is coming up in just a moment. So you want to stay tuned for that. You're watching the Michael K. Show on Yes, and you're listening on 880 ESPN.
We all want to feel safe when traveling. That's why if you see something that feels suspicious, such as an abandoned bag or erratic behavior from a passenger, just call 911. You can call anonymously, and it's okay if it turns out to be nothing. Work together with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey to keep our transportation facilities safe. Visit PANYNJ.gov to learn more.
Game time. Wing time. Now it's a tailgate.
Getting together? The bold Louisiana flavors and satisfying crunch of Popeye's wings are always the right call.
Chicken from Popeyes.
You could pick from hundreds of law firms for your mesothelioma or asbestos lung cancer case, but would you be confident that you made the best choice? Whites & Luxembourg is the firm that has represented more asbestos disease clients than any other firm in the metropolitan area. With 30 years experience, they have New York's highest recorded asbestos verdicts of all time. The choice is clear, and the stakes could not be higher.
Whites & Luxembourg has our backs.
Call Whites & Luxembourg today.
Call Whites & Luxembourg today at 917-LAWYERS. That's 917-LAWYERS.
'Twas the night before Sprite's when Santa Claus came. Sprite Winter Spice Cranberry was the name of his game, and they heard him exclaim as he peeked out of sight.
Merry Sprite to all, and to all a good Sprite.
Visit linkedbylovetv.org to learn more about kidney disease, transplantation, and prevention. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
A team grows in Brooklyn. Block by block. Play by play. Shot by shot.
We got Nets.
You coming?
Mi embarazo con Maya fue normal. Todo estuvo bien hasta que nació. La cadera dislocada y a lo mejor traía consecuencias en la cabeza. Cada cirugía que ella requiere, creí que Dios me la iba a recoger. Lloraba como ahorita, pero mucho porque me la dejan. El hospital Shriners me dio mucha esperanza. Cada día que le despierta, le doy gracias a Dios. Pueden encontrar algo que pueda hacer que mi hija tenga una mejor calidad de vida.
Por más de 95 años, los hospitales Shriners para niños han ayudado a brindar esperanza a niños y sus familias, sin importar la capacidad de pago que tengan.
Con la ayuda de los hospitales Shriners, la vida puede ser muy milagrosa. Yo siento que Mayita todavía tiene mucho que vivir y que hacer. Todo va a estar bien, gracias a los hospitales de Shriners.
Visita moreshriners.org hoy.
Ticket to winning the season. Give the chance to win up to $1 million with holiday scratch-off games from the New York Lottery.
Welcome to Nissan. Are you interested in
test drive?
Absolutely.
There's the all-new Kicks, the new V6 powered Frontier, and the Nissan Rogue. Consumer Guide's Best Buy 10 years in a row.
Finished with all your holiday shopping?
We are now.
Hurry in to the Nissan year-end sales event. Now get a low $229 per month lease or get 0% APR financing for 60 months on Rogue.
We're unboxing unbeatable values for your home every Friday in November. I've got $9.99 bedrooms that'll knock your socks off. $9.99 power sofas. $9.99 sofa love seat combos. $9.99 mattresses. Because every day is like Black Friday when you dare to compare at Bob's. Ow.
So you think Santa will like these red and green M&Ms?
I don't know. I never met the guy.
He does exist.
They do exist. Santa?
I bought the team. Kevin? I bought the team. I put it on my Chase Freedom Unlimited card. And I'm a cash back on a few other things, too. Starting with the sound system.
You're a from deep.
That's cash. I prefer the old intros. This is much better. I don't think so. Steph, one more thing. The team owner gets 5 minutes a game. All right, let's go then. Cash Brothers. Dad. Cash back like a pro. With Chase Freedom Unlimited, how do you cash back? Chase, make more of what's yours.
This land is your land.
This land we love belongs to all of us. Yet not everyone is treated equally. Right now, millions of Americans are fighting for the things promised to all by the Constitution. Learn how the ACLU is defending the right to vote, free speech, and other civil liberties at myaclu.org.
Hey, small business owners, your company may need to file its beneficial ownership information with the federal government.
The NFL yesterday.
My favorite time of the week, the NFL yesterday, brought to you by, you know what, I'll give it to Effie Apparel, because I love this jacket that I received.
It's really nice.
I'm excited to wear this.
It's not cold in here, and you've had it on every second you've been here.
No, I have. It's not cold, but like this is one of those jackets. It's like a nice shell, but I can layer up during the winter with this. You see what I'm saying?
I think you look fantastic in it.
I'm excited about this Effie Apparel jacket, so thank you to them, and welcome. It hits different, I got to say. The NFL yesterday hits different when your team throws up a 42 burger. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's a thing. Try it again.
2-point burger for me.
Yeah, that part is the only thing that was a downside, but I didn't care.
See, I wanted to put you in the unenviable situation of having to root against your team.
Like you would ever do that for our silly little reindeer game.
For the Commanders to win an extra game, I'd wear a clown suit every week.
Really?
You have no idea. You don't know what it's like to be as invested as I am. It was great to see the offense get rolling again yesterday. You know, Jaden didn't do anything amazing. It still seems like they have brought him back down to earth a bit. But now they get the bye, which could not be more needed. They've played. We're going to week 13, 14. So 13 straight weeks. They needed a little.
Now, I know you love the jersey, but do you love the black helmet with a number on it, or did you prefer that with the W helmet?
I'm not mad at it's a little collegey, which is probably not my top choice, but that's what the black helmet is. I would probably rather have the W on it if I were to choose. It's crazy. I went to a little event last night and I wore my Commander's hat with the W. People do not know what that is. They're like, oh, Washington State? I'm like, no, it's the Washington. You know what? Don't worry about it.
So you're going to get the old logo back. Don't you worry.
Right.
They'll offend as many people as they can.
Every time that someone sends me a story about the logo coming back, if you look at the source, it's from clown.
It's a borderline onion story.
Yeah, it's exactly. You look at it, it's like clownfart.com. You're like, this is not a real thing.
Now, do you think that when you wear the W hat, people are thinking you're a big fan of the Oliver Stone movie?
That's it. They're like,
wow,
you worked on the movie. All right, guys, let's get into it. After trailing 19-6 in the third quarter, the Vikings rallied to beat the Cardinals 23-22 on a go-ahead touchdown pass by slinging Sammy Darnold to Aaron Jones with 1:13 left in the fourth quarter. And if I know my friend Anthony Pusick well enough, I'm guessing we have the call from Minnesota Radio, KFAN.
3 receivers left, 1 right. 4th and 10 for Kyler Murray facing a 5-man rush. Kyler back to pass, throws right, intercepted. Jack Griffin has won the game, and it's a high five for the Minnesota Vikings. They've won 5 consecutive games. The final score, 23-22, Minnesota.
Big day for Sam Darnold. First time in his career that he's thrown a go-ahead touchdown pass in the final 2 minutes of regulation or overtime. And by the way, we play a lot of radio calls. That's what a professional football radio call sounds like.
That's my doppelganger, by the way.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
He looks just like him.
He's so good. He's so damn good.
So is Don.
Very good as well.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he's working tonight. I don't know if you know that.
Just the pre and post.
Just the pre and post. Did you hear his call on the game-winning goal?
No.
No, it was beautiful.
You heard it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was in the car. I made myself sit in the car for 2.5 hours.
No, I can't.
Do you think we have the call right there in the system?
I doubt it very seriously.
I sent it to all of you.
He sent it to all of us. Did you send it to yourself in the system?
Vanderjagt brings it in off the wall for Cooley, but Montreal can't clear as it's held in by Jones. Jones can't get a shot away. Gets it back out between the circles. Shot, score! Capo Caco gets the puck at the far circle and scores with 22.5 seconds to go. It's a power play goal, and the Rangers take a 4-3 lead.
My voice of the Rangers, Don McGreca.
Also, no steppage.
No.
And that was Dave, too.
Yeah.
See?
Very clean call. All right, there was a crazy game yesterday in the AFC North where the Steelers defeat the Bengals 44-38. Take your Super Bowl, your 1988-89 Super Bowl teams and throw them in the garbage. The Bengals and the 49ers are cooked. It's over, guys. Can we move on from the Bengals?
By the way, McCaffrey's not out.
It's not
for sure.
Injury
6
reserve.
weeks.
Okay, he goes to the IR.
All right, there's not going to be a... playoff run.
That's talking about the 49ers, of course. This is the Bengals who lose another one. They just have not been able to pull it together. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who I believe in the words of Don LaGreca, could be had, are now 9-3.
Yeah, there was somebody that was going to call the show. They just were on hold for too long. We had too many guests. Like, do you believe in my Steelers now? You still think the Ravens are going to win the division? Ravens and Steelers play later in the year, I believe, in Baltimore. The Steelers still have to play Cincinnati again, which is not a guaranteed win. And they close out against Kansas City, who may need that game to get the 1 seed against Buffalo. I still think Baltimore can win the division, but Pittsburgh is starting to make me a believer.
But by the way, it does feel like Baltimore's always playing a tough game every week. It just feels like
they're not the same.
No, but they've also had a tough schedule.
But the Steelers team, listen, they scored a ton of points because Cincinnati has no defense.
Let's hear the play.
Can they score enough to win this division?
Let's hear a little scoop and score from WDVE in Pittsburgh.
Burrow gets the snap. Here come the Steelers. Pressure. And Irving, the strip sack. It is picked up by Wilson. And Wilson's going to go in for the score. Peyton Wilson. Touchdown, Pittsburgh Steelers on the strip sack.
Oh, Nick Irving. What a great job of coming around the corner, getting a blitz, and being able to strip that ball. And you got the pain train, Peyton Wilson, scooping that thing up, scoop and score. And right now we're seeing an exodus of Bengals fans leave.
You know who coined that phrase, right? That was an old Butch Davis.
Oh,
Cowboys, the scoop and score, scoop and score.
250 yards passing in the first half for Russell Wilson. He's actually starting to look like Russell Wilson.
Dangerous.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
AO Seattle.
Yeah.
Mr. Unlimited.
You gave up on him.
I did. I fully did. He threw for 414 yards.
That's right. Look at the passer rating. Look at it.
Passer rating 126, 3 touchdowns, 2 a pick. Another Pennsylvania team that just continues to roll. It makes you sick, both of these teams, don't they? The Eagles get their 8th straight win by taking down the Ravines of Baltimore 24-19, 107 rushing yards, and a rushing touchdown.
You felt pretty good at 12-0, didn't you?
Was it 12-0?
I think it was 12-0.
No, it was 9-0. 9-7 after that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I never felt great.
Never, really?
No, not great.
Sorry.
I needed
Not
more
with
than that. Let's hear
Tucker being dead.
Let's hear. Yeah, who knew that Justin Tucker would actually fall apart and not be able to play football again? Let's hear a little Saquon action from WIP in Philadelphia.
Hurts with Barkley to his left. Slot to the far side. A.J. Brown to the near side. Hurts this time to Barkley. Off the right side. Breaks the tackle. He's at the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown! Saquon Barkley. He broke it. 25 yards.
Now, that was a Saquon Giant game. Like, for 3 quarters, he had nothing.
And then he gives you the big
And
one.
then he gives
but
you
by the way, those games are way more acceptable when you've been doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
week after week, he's just been the man.
Listen, I know Saquon's the man. He might win the MVP, but that defense has been terrific for Philadelphia.
I mean, really, really
they ranked like 26 last year.
But he's averaging 6.1 yards a carry.
11 touchdowns. He's up to 1,499 yards. Guys, 2,000 yards are in play on the ground.
I guess who they play at the end of the season?
Give me the New York Giants.
The Giants.
To try to get over 2,000 yards.
Can you imagine? Because it's possible, right? I mean, they still may need the game depending on what happens with the Lions and all that. So
if he breaks the all-time rushing record,
by the way,
against
he's
the
gonna
Giants,
get,
right?
he's going to get it.
Mara then goes into the booth and drags Shane out.
By his hair.
By his hair.
Wait, you're saying this ends with Joe Shane being tossed out like Jazzy Jeff on an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Yeah, just like that. That's what I was thinking.
I think Mara could do it.
Oh, he could. The anger he's going to be carrying?
And Joe Shane's a diminutive man.
Is he? I don't think he is.
we hung. You know what? I like Joe. We hung with him. I don't know how good a general manager he is, but he actually gave. Remember, Peter, because you're above going to camps. We
hung with him.
We hung with like after the segment, like a little BS.
No, 20 minutes.
We're shooting the ball.
Yeah, we hung out with Joe Shane.
It's really good.
How's that working out for you?
Oh, I enjoyed it.
Did you get a number from him?
Oh, we weren't trying to build up our journalistic integrity.
What are you going to make friends?
Hold on, real quick. You're asking Don LaGreca,
right?
The man who just asked our PD. Do you think I can get 3 people on the list for our own holiday party? You think he had the gall and the audacity to believe that Joe Shane would want to continue to be his friend?
But why? Well, what's the purpose of being his friend then? You got to work it.
But I wasn't. You weren't working. It was just enjoying
I'll tell you what,
guys, some football.
Listen, the truth is, if I was a giant man, I probably would have gotten the number.
You are not a giant man.
No, excuse me. I really set myself up there. Let's go to snowy Buffalo. The Bills rout the Niners to, I think, effectively end their season. We can all play reindeer games if we want. 35-10. As you mentioned, Christian McCaffrey goes down. He goes to the IR now. Josh Allen becomes the first quarterback in NFL history to record a passing TD, a rushing TD, and a receiving TD in the same game. Unbelievable. Let's hear a piece, shall we? I lost my drops, but I got it.
You don't know.
Let's hear it from play-by-play of the Bills Radio Network.
Allen under center, takes the snap, quick hitter, thrown behind, but somehow caught, and now lateral to Allen, and reaching for the pylon. Are you kidding me? It's a touchdown. Unbelievable.
I hate to be critical. That didn't really tell the story of the play completely, but it's very hard to do. I don't even know how you would do it, but it really was a phenomenally athletic play by Josh Allen, and your pick for MVP. Looking
and
strong.
I also said the Bills were going to win the division, which they did.
But
they clinched it already.
Yeah, they clinched it already.
We could spend an hour on this, and now the Buffalo fans can get visibly excited and win their argument that it's New York football, but not because of that. Here's how I feel, though. If we get a Buffalo-Kansas City playoff game, it will be as high pressure a game for a Buffalo Bills fan as we have seen any team's fan base have in history. Imagine this year of all years. They beat him in the regular season. We know the Kansas City Chiefs. Michael, you know.
Yes.
No, they can be had. Yeah.
And if you don't do it this year, Don,
then you don't. Then you just hang it.
It's they have to win this year.
So I'm watching the game yesterday.
Go ahead.
Minding my own business.
Sure you are.
And it's a snow globe game.
Yeah.
Right? And then they show the stadium across the street that's being built. And the big thing that they're selling, 60% of the fans are covered. Well, why not everybody? Why not the field? I mean, did you run out of money? Isn't that the place to have a roof?
No, because that's wonderful what was happening.
Oh, come on.
Oh, it was absolutely
wonderful.
Was
it wonderful when McCaffrey tore his PCL?
Oh, listen,
that's not why it happened.
That's not.
How do you know?
But maybe.
How do you know?
I just watched a whole snow game last week. Nobody got hurt in that.
Yeah, I mean, people love it. It's really great. It's football.
Now, I think the better argument you have, because I do want it open in Buffalo. It is part of the experience. But if you're among the seats in the 40%, oh, what a disaster.
Yeah, you hate the people.
But you know some of the people in Buffalo, they might pay more to be.
Right. They want to be
naked.
They
take their shirt off.
Yeah, they'll be naked, jumping through a table.
I do want to know, I mean, because you seem like the type that would do it. Why take your shirt off in sub-freezing
No, I wouldn't be the guy to do that.
Well, you seem like that.
Don's not a shirt-off guy.
They're mental patients, Michael. What are you going to do? Not everybody is all there. And by the way, I'm assuming Buffalo was one of those places that was founded in the summer, right? Like, you're not planting your flag going, oh, they just dropped 2 feet of snow. Let's live here.
Yeah, it's a great point.
But I would think you just
You're
keep
saying
going
Buffalo
south.
only started in June.
Right, yeah.
They were visiting Buffalo in June.
Then once they already built the shacks and everything, like, oh, it snows here?
They said, what could possibly go wrong? By the way, in case you're wondering how many people jumped in to watch the putrid dreck that was the Giants and Cowboys, 38.5 million Americans decided that was a good idea. That will do it.
We go to break and I didn't notice?
That'll do it for NFL yesterday on this Monday afternoon. Thank you.
I do wonder. I mean, you could put my son's flag football team in NFL uniforms and get $38 million on Thanksgiving.
Well, think about how big a deal it was. They had to get one of the biggest athletes of all time to come back and fight on a Friday night against the biggest social media influencer on planet Earth. And they came together and pulled this incredible number, and they put it on free Netflix.
Right.
And they got this huge number that were wowing. This game was absolute horse manure.
Right.
And it still did almost that
It was almost like
number.
the NFL doesn't even have to try.
They don't even have to try.
And that's proven to be 38. We have no idea if Netflix was telling the truth.
No, well, they say that number was 55.
You know what? I'll play along.
It kind of blows the conspiracy. Oh, the NFL needs Kansas City. The NFL doesn't need anything.
Nothing.
Are those chocolates over there? Can you get those, Peter, before we go to break?
If Michael doesn't like it, he can wipe them on my forehead.
What is that?
I think those are chocolates.
Something going
Are
on.
those chocolates over there? Can you bring some
them
over
over
here?
here. Don't-
Well, you're
don't-
brushing them like they're garbage.
Really?
These look like beautiful chocolates.
Give me a break.
What do we got here?
Cranberry orange.
No.
Oh.
Okay, and you have like a whiskey toddy.
No, we're not going to break, Anthony. There's chocolate on the table.
All right, well.
We could have broke it and done all this off the air.
All right,
but you
so
know
I
what?
got the
It's
chocolate.
Thank you.
We'll come back. We've got a lot of stuff to do. Take your phone calls. Don's got something to tell you. It's such a busy show.
Stay
Lots
close.
to do. Don.
Friends, go see Don.
Hurry into your local Acura dealer for the Season of Performance event going on now.
Everywhere but the seat. The seat is leather.
Alan, we get it. You love your bike. We do too.
That's why we're America's #1 motorcycle insurer.
But do you have to wedge it into everything?
What? I don't do that. This reminds me of my bike. The Wolf was about the size of my new motorcycle. Have you seen it, by the way? Happy birthday, Grandma!
Really?
Look how the brushstrokes follow the line of the gas tank. Hey! Brought my +1. Jamie.
I started having knee pain in my early 50s. I'm Phil Simms, pro football legend and TV analyst. My knee pain would wake me up during the middle of the night. It hurt me every time I played sports. If it was basketball, tennis, and even golf, I quit being active, and it got to a point where I want to be active, and that's why I'm sitting here today.
Arthritis Knee Pain Centers uses an image-guided procedure that allows them to place an all-natural cushioning gel directly into the affected joint, restoring mobility and relieving your pain without surgery or downtime.
I think what really surprised me is how easy it was and how there was no pain to the treatment.
It's covered by Medicare and most private insurance.
I have no pain. That's gone away, and I got to tell you, I feel great. I'm back to playing a little tennis. I played pickleball, which I said I would never do. Arthritis Knee Pain Centers, they relieve my pain and change my life.
Call Arthritis Knee Pain Centers now and schedule your no-charge, no-obligation knee pain screening. Call 800-823-3160.
Game time, wing time. Now it's a tailgate.
Getting together? The bold Louisiana flavors and satisfying crunch of Popeye's wings are always the right call.
Have that chicken from Popeyes. Dupixent helps people with asthma breathe better in as little as 2 weeks. So this is better. That too. Dupixent is an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma. It works with your asthma medicine to help improve lung function. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems and doesn't replace a rescue inhaler. It's proven to help prevent asthma attacks. Severe allergic reactions can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor right away of signs of inflamed blood vessels, like rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in limbs. Tell your doctor of new or worsening joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop steroid, asthma, or other treatments without talking to your doctor. When you can get more out of your lungs, you can do more with less asthma. And isn't that better? Ask your doctor about Dupixent, the most prescribed biologic in asthma, and now approved as an add-on treatment for adults with COPD that is not well controlled and with a specific marker of inflammation.
Any NBA play can inspire your next hunch. And with 3 months of NBA League Pass from FanDuel, you're about to get a whole lot more inspiration. So if you think they're going to rock the rim right out of the gates, hello, or you want to RSVP to the block party, there he is. Yes, sir. Or you think it's going to start raining threes. Let's go! FanDuel has more ways to bet on players so you can make your hunches happen. Right now, new customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Plus, all customers get 3 months of NBA League Pass on us. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
Hey, small business owners. Your company may need to file its beneficial ownership information with the federal government.
It's gonna be okay.
Hi.
Mom, when are you coming home?
They're relying on her.
They really need me here.
We're relying on you. Please help.
Dear Santa, my mom says I'm a good helper, but you didn't come last year. I just really hope this year when I wake up, I'm gonna see that you came to my house too.
Donate today.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
You got a minute?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
It feels great. You know, it's a big bounce back after the unfortunate scene at Fogo de Chão the other day. To be able to bounce back here, to find dinner, make it through the weekend, and then win point guard on Monday. At a live event, no less.
Yeah.
It feels good.
Never been bigger. So your Fogo event, I want to tell you about Thanksgiving at my sister's house, where she proceeded to ruin Christmas.
Sorry?
Yeah. So we've got my sister, my brother-in-law, her 3 kids. One of her kids is married. She has 2 kids, right?
Those are grandkids.
Right. Well, they're nieces.
Well, for you, they're nieces.
So Christmas time.
And Hollis, Queens. Keep going.
Jody and I, we get gifts for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, Debbie comes up with, you know what? We're going to do like Secret Santa. We're going to put everybody's name in so everybody doesn't have to buy these ridiculous gifts. It's just one gift.
One gift.
And to me, it ruined Christmas.
But you didn't celebrate Christmas yet.
But it's going to ruin Christmas.
Because you want more gifts?
No, I want to give more gifts. Now I'm handcuffed to only give one gift, and I think it stinks.
You want to buy more gifts for people?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a jolly old guy.
Yeah, apparently so.
Right.
So now do you feel like you have, and by the way, but is this like, is the Secret Santa like a real Secret Santa? It's not like hokey. It's like get a good gift.
Yeah, get a good gift.
Oh, so it's not like get something cheap.
Right, so I drew a name out, and that's the person I have to buy. But you know what I'm going to do?
Oh, so it's not really a secret.
But no, they don't know who it is. I don't know who drew my name.
Got it. Okay.
So the
it's
person
Secret Santa at Jay's.
But I'm buying it for everybody. I'm going to be better than everybody. I'm going to ruin their Christmas because they're going to be the ones who look cheap. I'm going to get a gift for everybody, not just the person I drew. Everybody.
By the way, you are
trying to handcuff me.
So, you have somehow taken something that sounded nice on paper,
right,
and you've made it bad. You've made it dirty.
No, I made it better.
No, you've sullied it.
I haven't sullied it. I am not going to be handcuffed by somebody's idea of what would be a perfect Christmas.
Yeah, but now you're intentionally showing people up. This is not a good deed.
Well, but that makes me feel good for the holiday.
It makes you feel good to make yourself better than everyone.
I want to outgift everybody.
I don't know if that's what it's about.
I think what the holiday is about. Yeah,
I'm not sure.
No, you're wrong.
So you're gonna so you're gonna get a really nice gift for everyone.
Yeah.
How many people?
7.
So you're going to drop like $700 or something like that?
Maybe more.
Maybe even more.
Maybe more. How long do I have on this earth? Why can't I spend my money?
You know what? I can't wait to see how this plays out.
I think it's going to.
What are you thinking about?
Well, I know exactly what I'm going to get everybody, and then they're going to sit there with their one measly gift for me, and they're going to feel awful.
You know what?
I'm going to feel superior.
You know that's so nice. That is what the holiday's about. I believe I believe that's a Christ quote.
Yeah.
Celebrate me by feeling superior to everybody else. I remember that from you. Now, do you know what it is? You made a decision?
No. I'm going to go to a mall one day and
do the
buy
research.
Everybody, yeah.
But the same thing.
No, not the same thing. Different things for everybody. Put thought into it.
You're going to get everybody a different gift.
Yes.
How many people total are we talking about?
You just asked me. 7.
But that doesn't even add up right. Because 7, what about your family?
Well, I mean, Charlie and Callie don't fall under this.
Oh, got it. So this is just about the others.
And Jody's impossible to shop for. What do you want? Something experiential.
Experiential?
Yeah, she wants to go somewhere. I said, I don't know where you want to go.
But take her somewhere.
No, I can't take her. I'm working. I don't have time off.
You have it during the holidays.
Well, we are going someplace.
Okay.
But that's not her gift.
Oh, she wants another time.
Like when she went to the Cotswolds during last year.
Oh, yeah. The Cotswolds.
Yeah. Let's go to the phones. I hope everybody understands what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, we think you're better.
Don't do Secret Santa with me. I'm not playing that game. I'm not doing it.
I love it. You're against the reindeer games.
Exactly. Literally the reindeer games.
Oh, my God. These are the reindeer games.
They're the reindeer games. So this way, everybody could save a little pocket cash. No, I'm not into that. I want to spend every last dollar. I've changed my way of life. At the end, I want to have nothing left. On the last day, I want to have zero money left.
Now, will you put a little aside for the kids first?
No, let them earn.
I love it. I love what you've done.
Yeah. Let's go to Derek in Atlanta. What's up, Derek?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good. What's up?
Hope everybody. To answer your question, Michael, about Soto, there's no way in hell I want to see him go to the Red Sox. That's just too many games in the division that he has a chance to beat you. If he's going to leave, I'd rather him just go to the National League.
I'm going to tell you why it's a little skewed by you, Derek. You live in Atlanta. A Yankee fan that lives in New York is going to have Juan Soto in their face every day for the next 12 years. If he goes to the Mets. But I understand what you're saying. It's hard to argue because he could actually keep the Yankees out of the World Series. The only time the Yankees would be impacted by him would be in the World Series. And, once you get there, anything could happen. But I hear what you're saying. Move back from Atlanta and then tell me if your answer changes.
Well, I used to live in New York for years, Michael. I just transplanted to Atlanta.
Yeah, come on back. Don't be in Atlanta. Come back. The NYC is better than the ATL. It just is. Hey, I think it's time for Richard in Manhattan.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Michael, you know, Mayor Bloomberg said when he dies, he wants to have no money left, and the check that he writes to the undertaker bounces. That's
Nice, but you know what? I don't think he could spend all the money he has.
Oh, that's what he
Well,
said.
and if you give all the, and what about Kane? You can't just think about the Undertaker here.
All right. Yeah, Michael, has there ever been anyone in sports that's gone to 100? In management, a player, coach, anything. Have you ever, do you remember anyone?
Anyone in sports history
gone
made
to
it
100?
to 100?
Didn't Connie Mack go to, like, in the 90s? I don't know if they went to 100. I'm sure that there's some obscure...
Richard, we believe you could be the first.
We want you to be 100.
All right. You know, Don, you did a great call, great game on Saturday, and the reason why your call at the end was so great was because if the Rangers lost that game, they would have been shot. I mean it. Coming down that Montreal 2 goals on your home ice to tie the game like that, that would have been it, really. This would have been a really tough loss. So your emphasis on the game-winning goal was really heartfelt, and I can see it. All right, as far as Lou Carnesecca, Michael, were you at the Columbia Gym in '85 when they came and they were rock stars in February of '85?
I was probably there. I covered all their games.
Yeah, I remember Jerry Azar was there from Channel 7. You know, it was funny. Chris Mullen was signing autographs after the game. All the parents of all the Columbia students were there. But some of his friends that he played basketball with across the street from Riverside Drive, they were waiting online too. And then when he looked up to see, you know, he was signing their autographs, they were laughing. And he says, come on, get out of here, get out of here. Because they were his friends from ball playing at Riverside Church.
What about me? Nothing for me, Richard?
Peter, no. But as far as Lou Carnesecca, his greatest job in coaching was not with St. John's, although as a coach at St. John's, this guy controlled the game better than any other coach I've ever seen. They never lost by more than 10. Fellas, do you realize in 1969, this is who we had coaching and managing in New York. We had Lou Carnesecca with the St. John's. We had Lou Holtz with the Knicks. Gil Hodges with the Mets.
Lou Holtz with the Knicks?
We had Lou Holtz.
No, Red Holtzman.
The great Notre Dame.
Red Holtzman with the Knicks.
Oh, Red
Gil
Holtzman.
Hodges with the Mets. Emil Francis with the New York Rangers. Weeb Eubank with the New York Yankees.
Richard, I have to push back. There is no way. There's no way that you could tell me that St. John's never lost by more than 10 points. There's no way. I think you made that up. There's no way that St. John's never lost by more than 10 points.
What, the whole year?
I can't expect
You said
it.
just one year?
No, ever in his career.
No, that's crazy.
Well, this is Richard.
And by the way, was that collection of coaches that he just named, because some were a little behind me, is that the greatest collection we've ever had in New York at one time? I don't think so.
It's Richard being Richard.
And I'm offended he had nothing for me. He laughed me off. Like it was ridiculous that I didn't even say anything.
They talked to Don, and we actually had fake Don say
By the way,
thank
that
you.
was so. I'm so glad you guys did. Great job, Jacob. Yeah, no, and Don, good job by you too.
Now, for those that don't know, Don had to run to the garden to do the pregame show, so it's just the two of us.
But remember,
Richard had no clue.
Well, Richard didn't notice that Don's not here, and Richard doesn't believe in television, which is great for us. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
But that was a special call from Richard.
Speedo in Hempstead.
Interesting.
Yes, hello, Michael. Michael K., how are you?
I'm great, Speedo. How you doing?
I'm fine. I just want to say, man, I enjoy listening to Don and Peter. He's starting to grow on me.
Oh, finally.
But I really like your call on the Christmas gifts. You know, as far as you going over and aboard to do more than just one gift. Because I really like the idea of you making everybody look small.
Speedo,
really
let's get to the real thing
love
here.
it, Speedo.
But
Thank you.
where do we get the name Speedo from?
That's my nickname when I used to play ball. I used to play basketball. I played out in Illinois. I played against players like what's his boy Johnson.
Sure, I love Johnson. He was a great player, Speedo.
No, what I'm just saying is, though, I really like the idea of what Michael's doing.
So do I. Thank you, Speedo. So do I. Because I want to make people feel as badly as I can on the holidays.
I think it's a beautiful point. I'm glad Speedo picked that up.
I have to ask you a question. Have you ever in your life, because this is an answer that can impact
You think
our
you ever played
relationship.
against Speedy Claxton?
I want to know. This impacts our relationship moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever in your life worn a Speedo?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I have. Well, in what context do you mean, by the way? Like ever
context?
You mean like out? You mean out to
on
the pool?
On a beach or a pool.
So, I don't know. I don't remember, but I know when I went to Brazil when I was a 19-year-old.
Right.
My ex-girlfriend was very much like, that's what guys wear to the beach. You don't wear like long board shorts. That's like not a thing.
Okay. So you wore a banana hammock.
I don't think I did it. I actually don't think I did. But I will say my friends at Roots of Fight sent me a pair of Ric Flair like red trunks that are actual wrestling trunks.
Right.
And I have tried those on for Natalie, and I get a great laugh every time.
A laugh, or you turning her on?
I do not think she feels turned on when she sees that.
That might not be the way you want to go then.
Sometimes a laugh is what leads to the. I mean, that's how I got her in the first place, right?
It's still a mystery.
Although there was that one caller recently who said, big take on the show. Rosenberg is sneaky funny. So she thinks I'm sneaky funny as well. Sure.
Ross in Manhattan. Ross.
So, Mike, I appreciate you, being a great guy with the Secret Santa, but are you going to be getting your person 2 gifts? Because then your person would only be getting 1 gift while everyone else is getting 2. So then
one of the great takes we've ever had in the history of the show.
Well, I like the way you think, Ross, and I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to get everybody multiple gifts. So the more gifts you get them, they exponentially feel worse.
So, again, the point of this is just to make everybody feel bad on Christmas.
Well, no, that's a good offshoot. I just don't like being, told you can't get person A, B, or C. Like, they might be listening. I didn't get my sister.
Okay.
I didn't get her to give a gift. I've never had a Christmas where I didn't give my sister a gift.
You want to give your sister a gift?
I'm going to give everybody gifts.
But you're breaking the rules.
I don't care.
But you're doing it for yourself. You're somehow making something that's supposed to be selfish. It's almost impressive.
When I was leaving
You're like the actual human Scrooge McDuck. I've never seen anything like it.
How are you calling me Scrooge when I want to give gifts away?
But if the gifts you're giving are to make people feel bad, you're like worse than Scrooge.
But here's why I want them to feel bad.
You're like...
because I think the whole premise is
You're like
dumb.
Mr. Burns. There's like a level worse than Scrooge that you are.
Like I own a nuclear plant.
Like you own a nuclear plant and you want to make everyone in the town of Springfield feel bad.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong. You're not supposed to mess up the thing. Like, if this is what everyone's doing, you should have just pushed back and said, I think this is stupid.
I did. When I left the house that night, I said, Debbie, you ruined Christmas today.
So you think she's Scrooge?
No, I just think you don't mess up something that's a 63-year-old tradition.
I got to tell you, talk about, you want to know how self-centered Michael is. He thinks Christmas started when he was born. That's what's amazing. You think it's a 63-year tradition, Christmas. I don't know if you're aware of, I got some big news for you. Do you know Christmas goes back even further than when you were born?
Yeah, but you know what? I don't know it other than when I was born.
Right.
I have no idea what people were doing then.
Then let's be realistic. You don't even remember when you were born. So from when you were like 4 years old?
Maybe 5.
Okay.
No, I don't remember anything before 8.
What are you giving us for Christmas this year?
Nothing.
See, that's unbelievable.
Not a thing.
You'd rather give too many gifts to people who don't want them, but not enough gifts to your friends.
We usually always go to this big bacchanal dinner where you guys get alligator arms and I pay for it.
By the way, why don't we just do the dinner after the event?
I'm fine with that.
That's what we should do.
It'd be sad, though.
Not necessarily.
You think so?
I think it could be a swell occasion.
Yeah, it could be great. I mean, but why not have it before?
You feel like... Do we have any other drops from Keishan today?
This really keeps you in...
No, from today, though. He didn't say that today.
No, North Kentucky, whatever you call it.
You never heard North Kakalaki before?
No, never.
My
favorite part of that was Lawrence Taylor. Really?
Well, he hadn't done all the research yet.
Well, thank you to everybody here at the NHL store. If you're watching on Yes, I'm going to make an appearance, by the way, on the Hot Stove Show.
How?
Right from here.
You're staying here to be on the Hot Stove?
That's right.
Wow, good for you.
You want to stay with me?
No.
Anyway, thank you all for coming. Thanks to the NHL
Thanks,
store.
Yes.
And thanks to Yes and all the people that put the show together, and also to Gary Bettman and company for dropping by. See you.
That's a wrap on the show for today. Coming up next, the season premiere of Yankees Hot Stove. For all of us here on The Michael K. Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock. The Michael K. Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to